Welcome back, everyone. Oh, welcome back, everyone. There we go. Now we're on the lobby screen. Welcome back, everyone, to the 24 Hours of F1 event. We are here tonight, of course, for my second and last commentary of tonight, and that is, of course, the Chinese Grand Prix in Shanghai. Luckily, I know a bit about this track because I've commentated around here before. Joining me in the commentary box for this one, though, is PSGL F1 lead commentator. It's Miss Jessica Ball. Jess, how you doing?
I'm doing very, very well, thanks, James. This is my, I think, fourth stint in the commentary box tonight. Should be a lot of fun, this one. We got some very quick drivers in this lobby, and we've also got some drivers who we could bring out a few surprises. So I'm very, very, very excited. And the team that's going to be starting last is Team Hamburger of Jan Trepkov. So yeah, we'll see what he could do starting at the back. No double pointers and no 3-second reductions this one. So it's just the guy that's starting last. That is the wild card for today. I'm not really that surprised, to be honest. Not many people like China. I like China to commentate it, but I hate racing it, so...
Honestly, I love commentating around here in China. Always produces good action. I know QVR Nathan would have been quite good around here. I know Verstappen, though, did do a very good performance in China a couple of seasons ago in LOE, so he's one to watch out for. Is that, of course, in for Relentless, going to be one to watch out for? But, of course, a real poignant win, I think, last time out for NSX Montana, for the NSX team as well. Their first win. They've got Macho on this, Jess. How are we going to perceive this one-shot qualifying session to go? As I think we're just waiting on Will to ready up.
Well, I think we saw it quite close in the last few sessions as well, but we've seen in some races that for some drivers one-shot qualifying doesn't even matter because they get involved in incidents anyway. But I hope they have learned from the last few races that they can't afford to lose it and go all for it in that one, because that's not how the race is won. So, and I've just been informed by Will that his game's broken.
Oh no.
So yeah, that's not good.
Is there any way for him to leave as well?
He's on PC.
He's on PC. Oh, he's going to have to close his Steam application and everything down.
Yep.
Oh, this is going to be a right headache, I think. But welcome, everyone. Well, while we wait
welcome
for Will...
to Crossplay!
Welcome to Crossplay. Welcome to Crossplay. It's caused us a lot of issues. Just about as when we were getting back on track in terms of the time and everything was going absolutely smooth, this comes into our midst once again. But to run through the donations currently out on the Just Giving pages, of course, in the description on Twitch, there are 2 logos that you can click on to donate to both charities. Of course, British Heart Foundation, remembering, of course, NSX Mads, who sadly passed away from a heart attack around about a year ago today, to this day, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It was certainly a year anniversary when I covered it a couple of weeks ago. And, of course, Vadim Shvetkov as well, who has obviously passed away from brain cancer. Lived alone with it, sadly, as well. Only told his closest friends. And, of course, every single penny that you give to our charities, of course, to British Heart Foundation, will go into their research, hopefully to further research heart attacks and the surroundings of that, and also to further research in brain cancer as well. Currently, as the donations stand in front of my eyes, certainly a lot have changed since I last updated. 58% of our donation target of 1,000 being reached for the British Heart Foundation. £590 in total. Felix being the remembering the recent one, £7 donation from him. Great racing for great causes, remembering our friend Mads these 24 hours. This race goes to show the kindness of the F1 League racing community, which makes me proud. Good luck to all competing. And isn't that just a really nice message? I think just to put into perspective what we are all here for. It might get competitive. Yes, we might get aggressive battles as well out on track. But all of this is done for charity. All of this is done, of course, in the name of Mads and for Vadim as well, for the Brain Cancer Foundation, which I will go and have a look at the donations for in a second. However, though, we're going in towards one-shot qualifying, which should be quite exciting. And just to save my voice for certainly the 28 minutes that's going on, take us through the lap with Jan Trepkov, who's actually not going to be competing in this.
No, he's not. I'll go aboard with the Red Bull of Isaac Kush, who is in last place at the moment as he heads towards the heavy braking zone of turn 2, 3 and 4, while we could see quite a few issues, I think, going into this lap 1 at least as well. Heading towards turn 4 and 5 as well. We can see quite a few people going side by side as they head through the run into turn 6 in the 2018 season. We saw Ricardo make the move there as well. So traction out of turn 3 and 4 is crucial through here. Heading now towards turn 7, 8, and 9. Some people can take it flat, but do not take it flat, because I found out because it will get rolled into a little bit of a spin, unfortunately. Now heading towards, I need to get my track up, map the money. Hold on. We are on turn 11 now on the left-hand curve as well. He's currently sitting in P1 at the moment for his team. He's purple sector 2, looking dandy at the moment. It's looking very comfortable at the moment. In heading past turn 13, heading down this back straight here. DRS activated. He activated that quite quickly, didn't they? Going up to speeds at 200 miles per hour plus. We'll see. I think it's around about 202 height top speed miles per hour at least as he heads towards turn 14 and 15. And then you're going to be heading towards the final corner, 100 metre braking zone into turn 60. And he's going to finish his lap in P1 with a 1 minute 32.303 with Samba in P2, not that far behind him.
Not that far behind him indeed. Matcher there in third as well, only 500ths of a second covering the top three. A bit closer than what we had in Australia, where I think it was 700ths of a second covering the top three, which was very good indeed. Of course, get your support in, of course, for in the chat. 90 people currently watching, one of them is me. So 89 people watching at this stage. Is it the word on top?
88.
88. We're dropping. It's our commentary.
No, one of them's me.
Yeah, tune out. Well, don't tune out. Just tune in. Bring everyone with you. Izzet takes the win though here in one-shot qualifying. Nathan Samba there in second for ERT. NSX Macho there in third with Miami there in fourth. Cortez, his good old long friend and rival from the F2 days in LOE, is in fifth. Verstappen there in sixth. Ginger there in seventh. Griff there in eighth. Tails there in ninth. And Max ran at the top 10. Will Lewis did manage to set a lap, by the way, down in 11th position. Energetics in 12th from Baby there in 13th. Z3 in 14th. Felipe 15th. Crazy Bird 16th. Ivor Bryn Mike down there in 17th. Real DC in 18th. Young Tripple, of course, not starting at the back of the field, even though we got disqualified from the session. That means NLR Dylan is starting at the back of the field for the NLR team. JD Nolan there, by the way, in the chat saying big bottle on the last corner. Yeah, big bottle indeed, but is that out on top? And Jess, we've only got moments to go until the Chinese Grand Prix. How do you see this one panning out?
And I expect to see some close battles, I think, between the front guys as well, especially between Isa and Samba. I think that's going to get very competitive indeed. I'm trying to get Will into this lobby, by the way. So I've just sent him an invite, so hopefully we should all be good with Will, who's going to join very, very soon. 20 seconds to go. Because the gap between like the top 12 was like 1.3 seconds, so I think it'll be closer than we thought. So I think they definitely picked the right drivers for this matchup, and yeah, should be a good one.
It should be a good one indeed. Yeah, Will Lewis is back in the session, by the way, which is good to report. So VSR are now up their driver once again. And now the father and lights are about to go out here in China once again for round number 7 of the 24 hours of F1. We're back on time. And we are lights out and away we go. Bit of a laggy start there, but Nathan Samba does get a very good start. Izzet as well with a very good start, and Izzet actually with the strongest start. Miami to the inside line of turn 1 and the Mercedes. Oh, there's contact between them both. Miami absolutely forced the inside line. There's a Ferrari round and a Red Bull round. Max and Tails being caught up in a separate collision further down the field, but Izzet leads the way. Nathan Samba in second. Matcher there in third. Miami not on earth and what sure what he was doing, to be honest, there down the inside of turn 1. Always going to get turned round there, and unfortunately for him, he's down there in 15th position up the line. But Izzet leads the way from Nathan Samba there in second, Macho there in third, Verstappen there in fourth, Cortez in fifth. Felipe is already up into 6th position, doing a good job, of course, for Relentless Man. T-Griff there in 7th, Ginger and 8th, Baby there in 9th. Will Lewis right on the back of VSR in P10, in fact down to P11, because Z3 he's left the session once again, so that is why Z3 is around the outside of him, and Z3 through and he's into 10th position, of course, for Bottle Job Racing. But Izzet leads the way, Nathan Samba in second, Macho there in third. Pretty chaotic first lap.
Yes, it was. We've got Samba on the soft hards. I was expecting him to go for a move on Izzet, but didn't. We're seeing some entertaining battles in the back as Jan Tripkop has had a spin in turns 13. So that's not good. Real DC's had a moment as well. There's a lot of spinners at the moment. Samba's taking the lead from Isa into turn 14 and 15 then, but can Isaac get the switch back heading towards turn 60? Bit of a lag spike there, I can see at the moment, but it's all good. It's all good. As Will Lewis has just joined, I'll probably have to keep inviting Will, I think, at this rate at the moment, but I'm all right with that. As Felipe, I'm worried that I'm going to jinx Felipe, to be honest. Nolan, by the way, he's called, so I'm not going to say anything, but he's got past Cortez up to 5th place.
Yeah, he's normally quite aggressive in terms of his move as well. This is the consolidated Felipe. Unlike his commentary a little bit earlier on, this is the consolidated Felipe that we're seeing. He's there in P5 on that sort of soft compound tyres. That is why he's probably getting along in this race, certainly. Matt's, by the way, spun in the final corner. He lost the car coming out the final corner, and now he's down in P19 from, I think, P13. He was behind Dylan before that. Crazy Birds is down the inside of Energetics as well. This is the battle, of course, for the LOE boys. That's going to be quite happening, and Jan Tripkov now into 14th as well. He gets ahead of Energetics there in 15th. Miami there in 16th, doing a good job as well. We settle down here in China. Nathan Samba leads the way, is up there in 2nd. Macho there in 3rd. Thule, by the way, in the chat saying how to donate. You can donate, of course, by looking in the description of the Twitch stream. If you're not on Twitch, of course, if you are in the Discord, you can. As Nathan Samba makes a huge mistake coming out the right-hander there at turn number 13, all the way down now in towards turn 13 and then in towards turn 14, of course. But Nathan Samba absolutely obliterated the track limits there coming through turn number 12, and Nathan Samba just about leads the way, is up there in 2nd, but a huge mistake from him.
We just had an update on the standings, by the way, and Team Umberger has increased their gap at the top of the standings. They're now on 135 points to QBR's 125, so yeah, I'm excited to see how Hamburger plays this one with Jan Tripkov in 14th, but QBR doing a lot better than Hamburger at the moment. QBR's in P4, so chance for QBR to gain quite a bit at the moment as well. VSR on 117. We'll hope that Will doesn't keep disconnecting, otherwise it's going to be a bit of an issue. But Dylan gets past Will up to 11th spot. We've got Energetics have had a bit of a moment coming out of turn 3 and 4. That's unfortunate. Beast now down into last place. Not good for me, but there we go.
Not good at all for him. And Jan Tripkov, by the way, Stu and Crazy Birds gets the job done. Of course, FSF1L. Bit of a mouthful to say if you're trying to speak quite quickly. Jan Tripkov, I can't even speak. Jan Tripkov, 13th. Crazy Birds 14th. As Eferol Ginger, I think, has just made an overtake there on Baby. Baby, in fact, is actually doing his into P8, so it's actually the alternative move that's happened there. Ginger there down in 9th. And Z-Freaks are there, who I think had a moment last lap around. He's there in 10th position, doing a good job. Will Lewis is back in the session. Hopefully doesn't keep disconnecting as Baby is round, coming out the right-hander of turn number 11. The McLaren there sent round, I think, because of contact by himself, and now spins completely into wall, reset the track as well, and Baby there down all the way in 17th and being overtaken.
You're not allowed to reset the track, I believe. That's 5 championship points gets deducted, I believe, if you reset the track, if they kept the rules from last year.
I think they might have done. Matt is on the back of him as well, into the right-hander as Felipe has now spun. In fact, actually, Felipe's in the pit lane. So Felipe in the pits early. Matt's into the right-hander there of turn 13, gets the job done. Baby there in 14. Thule, by the way, I was going to come back to your point. There are images in the description of the stream on Twitch. Jan Tripkov is on the back of Will Lewis's AI in towards turn number 1. There are images on the in the description. Click on the image, you can donate. It should take you to the Just Giving link, I think. And obviously you can donate through there if you do want to. As Nathan Samba leads the way still, is that in 2nd, Macho in 3rd, and Tails has now gone for a spin as well in the Red Bull. Down there in 17th position, Energetics there in 18th. Yuto, by the way, in the chat saying, come on, Ivor, bring Mike. Yes, get support behind Mike. He's there in 13th. He's 13th. He's 13th, and he's currently outperforming the other commentator that's in the lobby, Mr. Ariel Felipe.
Yeah, pretty well. Don't forget Felipe has stopped and Mike hasn't. But to be fair, that is true. Mike's ahead of Nolan, so yeah, Mike, better commentator confirmed. Joking. I'm meant to be commentating I'm meant to be racing in Bahrain yet tomorrow, so I'm scared he's gonna pump me choking. But DRS enabled as well. We'll see if Ice can get past Nathan Samba again. He does not. Apart from obviously cosplaying have a few issues, it's so good to have more platforms being able to take part in this, because there's always been a PC thing. Meanwhile, Dylan gets down the inside of Z3 up to 8th place, and I think the softs are starting to die. This is a track where...
Somebody put you off. Is that for the lead? Yeah, down the inside of turn number 1, gets the job done. Absolutely sailed it down the inside line, gets the job done. Nathan Samba now, those softs are surely beginning to go off. Apologies about the lag spikes. Nothing on my end, by the way. It's not like my connection is dying or anything. It is just pure lag spiking. Is that...
Real DC is left.
Ah. Down in 12th position as well. He's got Matt right on the back of him as well, so hopefully he can rejoin back in. Is that the leading the way? Nathan Samba there in second, Macho there in third. And all of a sudden, what Samba has done is obviously bring Izzat into play. Izzat now in the lead of the race, but what this has done more importantly is bring Macho into play. Now, I commentated on a race around here with Macho just a couple of weeks ago, and Macho was lightning quick around here. In fact, he beat the whole field by about 20 seconds. So Macho there in P3, watch out for him. He's got QVO Verstappen right on the back of him as well. This could get quite entertaining quite quickly as Macho, surely with 95% of EOS, is going to get the job done on Samba, who is completely screwing his way out of turn number 12.
Yeah, Macho looking very good on the back of Samba, actually. He's even got more ERS to use as well. Samba's only got 3%, so... surely maybe heading towards turn 1, Macho could get the move. Maybe through the hairpin if Samba makes a mistake. They're all very, very tight-knit at the moment, heading towards the final corner. Izzat pulling away, but he can stretch those medium tyres for quite a bit compared to Samba. So, yeah, I think it's going to be very tight as Macho gets towards turn number 1. Is he going to go inside or outside? Oh, my goodness. That is... it was very tight for Macho, to be fair, and Samba. How about turn number 4? Is he going to go through turn number 4? No, he is not. Meanwhile, Dylan has got past Jan Tripkov up to 8th position, but for how much longer? Jan Tripkov is going side by side. Oh, a bit of a love tap there, heading towards turn number 4, but no harm done, no damage, as Real DC has rejoined the lobby, so that's good news.
That is good news indeed. Jan Tripkov right on the back of Dylan. Another lag spike there, but he tries to go all the way around the outside. Nonetheless, through turn number 5. Tries to get the job done out of the exit of turn number 6 now. And Jan Tripkov to the inside line of turn number 7. You don't often see an overtake here too often. And that is an overtake. Jan Tripkov through, he's into 8th position through the S section. Great stuff. Great defending as well from Dylan. Great battle that. And Jan Tripkov in the end, proving that experience is no object. He is through, he's into P8, Dylan there in 9th. There's now either Bryn Mike has left the session. Everyone seems to be falling by the wayside. Who isn't falling by the wayside, though, is Izzat, leading the way, 9/10 per second. Samba there in 2nd, Macho in 3rd, Verstappen in 4th, Cortez there in 5th, Griff there in 6th, Ginger there in 7th. Will Lewis has managed to rejoin the session there as well. Dylan on the back of Jan Tripkov there, 8th and 9th. Crazy Birds in 10th, Will Lewis in 11th, Macho in 12th, Real DC 13th, Baby 14th, Felipe Tail 15th and 16th. Energetic Z3, so Ivor Bryn Mike and Miami down in the top 20, and there's still 20 drivers continuing on, which is really good, as of course reduced damage is on. And Nathan Samba getting close once again. Maybe this is just the second impetus that we're seeing on this set of soft compound tyre. Obviously they're coming back online now. Izzat though has got to try and weather this storm. He's got way more EOS than Samba, so surely Izzat has pretty much got his card absolutely numbered in behind.
Yeah, I think if Izzat wants to pull away from Nathan Samba, he's got to do it now, because this is where the time where Samba... Oh.
Samba's... Are we disconnecting from the lobby here?
No, well, I'm good for me. Samba's lagging for me.
Oh, everyone's lagging for me on my end. Verstappen there in 3rd.
Everyone's lagging.
Oh, no. Oh, Macho's got off track as well. Yeah, this is undrivable, I think, for some of these guys.
This is diabolical.
This is crossplay, unfortunately, at its finest within the Codemasters game, sadly. Izzat leads the way. I think we're back on par. There was a huge lag spike there. Samba has left the session. I wonder how many others are going to leave the session. Yeah, Samba is 2nd still. Macho there in 3rd. I'm not sure what the drivers just saw there. Our timing screens are completely messed up, certainly on my end anyways. We are only a quarter race distance. Izzat leads the way, Nathan Samba in 2nd, Macho there in 3rd, and Montana saying, yeah, it's just Samba's lag. Certainly Samba's lag. I thought the whole lobby was going down there.
I think it was because of Samba's lag that caused the whole lobby to just go kaput.
Yeah.
So, but I do have Sam as a friend, so I will get him back in, hopefully.
as there is a pit stop in behind. Cortez is into the pit lane. So QVR man into the pit lane. I don't think he's actually racing for QVR, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he is racing, if I'm not mistaken, for Olimpo, which is the Portuguese team. So Cortez into the pit lane for Olimpo. What tyres is he going to go on? And it's actually for front wing change. Softs and the front wing change. Where's he lost his front wing, though? I didn't see a spin, unless the lag has caused his front wing to absolutely go kaput.
Yeah, because there was a lot of people that went off, but yeah, luckily Macho's still where he is, that he was meant to be anyway, so it's all good. Oh, what happened there?
Yeah,
Yellow flag.
DC and Z3.
That is DC. DC's had a moment, turn 2.
I think Z3 was on the outside line of him. What I saw there certainly was DC down the inside line.
Oh, baby made contact with Nolan.
He has. He's round at turn number 5. But yeah, Cortez now behind Z3. So real DC, I think, was down the inside line there on Z3. Got the job done in the end, Z3, but obviously contact made with real DC, trying to force it down the inside line. Samba's left the session once again. At least it didn't lag that time when he left the session. Izzat, though, leading the way, 1.5 seconds. It's very strong indeed. As Jan Tripkov now makes a move on the FRL Ginger, humbling FRL Ginger at this stage. He's through there and into P6. Ginger there in P7. There are yellow flags galore in the middle sector. I think that might be for Z3 from Baby having their battle. And Cortez is stunned. Samba's AI is now in the pit lane. I can't really keep up. Lap down at 28. Izzat leads the way still.
I'm trying to get some more people in back in the lobby who disconnected. There's quite a lot of DCs going on in this lobby. I don't know why. I wonder if it's just the servers having a bit of issues at the moment. But we've got Will Lewis that I can't tell if he's a ghost or not. I think he's back. If someone from Visceral can confirm that he's back, he's not ghosted anymore. So touch wood, hopefully he stays for the remainder of the session. TL44 gets past the ghosted Samba there.
Yeah,
there we go.
He's in. His ERS has just been used up there, coming in towards turn number 5. So yeah, Will Lewis is in the session and is catching Crazy Birds as well. So obviously, if his connection really now just stays stable, hopefully, Will Lewis will begin to see what Will is capable of course, here in China. Catching Crazy Birds quickly, he's already gained around 2-3 tenths per second at this stage. There is, though, a more interesting battle developing for 5th. Jan Tripkov, by the way, who got disqualified, of course, going the wrong way, of course, at the start of qualifying. They were starting at the back of the field. In the end, qualified P19 because of Dylan, I think, DNFing, if I'm not mistaken, in that session. And Jan Tripkov now in 5th position, doing a really stunning job. Ginger there and Dylan are in 6th and 7th position. They're trying to catch him, but Jan Tripkov just looks too quick down the straights to even be caught, as Izzat still leads the way for Macho there in 2nd. And Macho is into the pit lane. So Macho is in, as I would have expected him to, around about lap 9, lap 10. Macho was into the pit lane. If he was going one stop, it would be a set of hards. I think it would be going set of mediums, lasting another 12, 13 laps, then maybe for a set of softs.
Mike, can you add me as a friend on PlayStation, please? Because then I can get you back in the lobby if you're tuned in. But we've got, 3 drivers in the pit lane for their first stops of the race. Another yellow flag. That is... Energetics,
out of the session. And
yeah, he's out of the race.
Ivan Mike has picked up a 5-second penalty for a severe collision. So Mike is back in the...
It was back in the session, yeah. He rejoined.
Oh. He's rejoined.
And he had to be going into my teammate. Oh, God's sake, Mike.
Shouldn't really laugh, but I think it's Mike joining the session. He's probably ghosted, I'm assuming, inside of Energetics, and then they just crashed. And unfortunately for them...
Yeah, that's probably what happened, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, wrong place, wrong time. 19th position, and Mike goes for a spin, coming into the wall. Mike out of the race. Mike out of the race.
Oh, no.
Some may say from the LOE team that might be a bit of karma there for Mike down in P19.
Yeah, I think so.
Terrible. Izzat leads the way, though. Verstappen in 2nd. I can't believe, by the way, we're still only on lap 10 out of 28. I feel like I've been commentating even China for at least the last half an hour. Izzat leads the way. Verstappen there in 2nd. Verstappen has made a big mistake. Oh, no, actually, no. Macho came in the pit lane, didn't he? So Verstappen there, 3.5 seconds behind. They're both continuing on and in front. Griff there doing well for the IRT team. He's there in 3rd position. Jan Tripkov there in 4th. Ginger there in 5th. They all fly their way through. Got a little bit chaotic this race. Now we're calming down. Matt is on the back of Felipe, looking like the closest battle, as well as Baby on the back of Will Lewis, who's in the wall, coming out of turn number 12.
Oh, it's just a lot of people in the wall in China. I think there's just a lot of spinners today in China. It's just quite hard, but yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there we are. And they right side impact damage as well for Will Lewis, who absolutely crashed coming into the wall there, coming out of turn number 12. And Will Lewis there, slowing up. Miami's right on the back of him. Miami in China at this stage. Of course, he was in Miami a little bit earlier on. I think it was California who actually raced there, which it doesn't make any sense if you're American and you're just tuning in for the first time.
Oh yeah, I get it. He should have raced in Miami, and then it would have been much better. But there we go.
Just... Go on.
But there's only one driver to have picked up a penalty. Will Lewis is in again. Onto a 7 medium. That's his 2 stops done, I think. Yeah, that's his 2 stop done. So we can focus to get those memes for the rest of the race. I don't think the memes can last that long, you know. Let me have a look. How long do they last around the last
no
16 laps?
No chance.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was literally going to say, he can go to the end on those compounded tyres, but he's got to be so careful on that set of mediums. Normally I see drivers pin in lap 12, lap 13 on a set of medium compounded tyres, and that's what we're seeing, funny enough, with Izzat, who's in the pit lane, going on to a fresh set of medium compounded tyres. This is his first stop. Verstappen, Griff, Jan Tripkov there, all in the pit lane. Ginger, Crazy Birds also in. Baby, I think, is spun coming through the right-hand return, number 12 there as well. But Izzat leads the way from Verstappen in second. Jan Tripkov there in third. And Macho, where is he going to come out? Right behind Izzat, coming out the pit lane. So not a bad undercut strategy there from Macho whatsoever. Now within DRS range, now in range for attack as well, which is going to be crucial for Macho on the back of Izzat. Of course, the former Relentless Man under pressure there from Macho there in second for Team NSX. This one is going to get quite spicy very early on here in China, but still under the halfway stage as Izzat leads the way. Macho in second, Verstappen in third. It's only Ecos Matt, I believe, that hasn't made a pit stop yet, as well as Baby, who hasn't made a pit stop.
Yeah, so they haven't done their first stops, of course. Interesting facts about China. Unfortunately, it was cancelled next year due to COVID, so yeah, bit of a shame that China's still not happening, but I think they have a bit more COVID rules, I think, compared to other countries, so fair enough. And this was the track I remember Michael Schumacher took his 91st and final Formula 1 victory ahead of Alonso and Fisichella back in 2006, so there we go. And Max is in the Ferrari at the moment, so yes, as Jan Tripkov has got past Samba up to P8. I believe Samba's back in the session now. Yes, he is, because he's not ghosted anymore, but yeah, he's already been compromised by the game just being the game. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely. So Samba there on the back though, Jan Tripkov, he is going to try and think about going for the move back in towards turn 13. Not getting the job done. Hype, by the way, saying, ask James, he will agree. I missed the other comments relating to this. What was he asking in the chat?
He thinks I'm the best driver in the LOE team. No, I'm not.
I think you are. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, to be fair, Energetics is out the race. You're here in the commentary box, and you're probably going to take over from them and put the race's time. So there we go.
I'm not driving until 3 in the morning.
Oh, 3 in the morning. Goodness me! Yeah. As Ginger actually goes for the move on Samba. How on earth he pulled that off down the inside of turn number 1? Great move. Wow. Samba in the end. On that sort of hard compounded tyres, completely outskilled by Ginger. You could say maybe humbled by that. Ginger Thuney's into 9th.
Ooh.
Terrible. I'm just going to let that one sink in. Ginger in 9th, Samba there in 10th. Izzat leads the way, Macho in 2nd, Verstappen in 3rd, Felipe in 4th. There are plenty more puns to come tomorrow, by the way, when we get to the final 2 rounds of the championship. Hype, by the way, saying not in the team, in the event. In the event. Interesting. Now, you're twisting my arm there, Hype. You're twisting my arm there, Hype. We've got Montana in the event. We've got Smokey in the event. They're probably the class acts, I think.
Yeah, they're better than me, so shush, Hype.
He's just trying to big you up. That's what he is.
Yeah, he is. He's a big fan of me. He's asked the question, are you commentating in the night, James? The answer to that is no. He's not commentating until the last 2 slots tomorrow, aren't you? Saudi Arabia and Bahrain.
I believe I'm also taking over Spain, if I'm not mistaken. Now, this was
right.
Because Luke has mentioned there is a spinner, Cortez is coming from the right-hand return number 12.
Luke's unwell, unfortunately, so he was going to commentate Luke Etheridge, of course, but he's been coughing every 5 seconds. So, yeah, unfortunately, he has to miss his event as Miami is trying to get past Baby up to 13th place, but no can do, says Miami, as he wants to try and get past turn 16. This could end in tears. It did not end in tears. Miami does get past Baby up to 13th, so the Forest lot will be very happy about that as Baby tries to get one on him again around the outside into turn 2. Can he hold his line? Hopefully no contact. Hopefully no instance. Otherwise there could be a commentator's. Nice. That was very, very good racing indeed. Yeah, you forgot Drake Dempsey as well. Yeah, but he hasn't raced yet, so technically we don't know. But there we go. What about turn 6 for Baby? No. Good race between the pair of them. It's really, really great to see as Cortez is into the box. I believe that's his second stop. Yes, it is. He's onto a set of the medium compounded tyres. I think that should get to the end, but we'll see.
Griff, by the way, all over the back of Max for P5 as well. Verstappen, by the way, pitted to a set of soft compound tyres, and he's catching quite quickly on the back of Macho, who's just lagging behind on that set of hards. As now Griff overtakes Max down the straight. Job done there for Griff. He is through, and he's into 5th position as Max there drops into 6th. And Dylan, to be fair, is now ahead of the man he started on the back of the grid with. Jan Tripkov there in 8th position, doing a good job. Max in the pit lane, frees these guys up, and now we're going to get a battle between Dylan and Jan Tripkov on the way down the straight. Bit of limited EOS there from Jan on the run down and towards turn 1. There was a spinner in the middle sector. I think that's Cortez again, if I'm not mistaken, through the middle sector, or Real DC, one of the two. I think it's Real DC who was round. Not unfortunately the Real DC, that's only David Coulthard. Is that leads the way, Macho in 2nd, Verstappen in 3rd, Felipe in 4th, but Jan Tripkov on the back of Dylan. Crazy Bird's right on the back of Samba as well. The battle's beginning to develop further down the field. Samba's all out of shape, and Crazy Bird's absolutely sailed on by to the inside line. Passing of the Red Sea on the curve through turn 4. Crazy Birds is through and he's into 9th.
Yeah, to the PC guys, fighting for position there. That's great to see. We're pretty much halfway in this race already, and anything could still happen. And I think the main things that are happening are in the midfields at the moment, isn't it? It looks like it's a battle for position. Now, I'm a bit baffled as to why Baby is not boxed yet. Does he know it's a 2-stop race?
I think maybe he's going set of mediums, and then he'll probably try and go 7 to 8 laps on those mediums, and then put in for sort of soft compound tyre. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, is that going to make a mistake coming out of turn 12? Sorry to put you off there, Jess.
No, it's fine.
Jan Tripkov through, and he's into the number 6 out on track. Dylan there in 7th, and Dylan made that mistake. Just a slight snap of oversteer on banking, just enough to obviously back off the throttle, and therefore Jan Tripkov through, and he's into 6th. Dylan there in 7th. As I say, the battle for what was the last row on the grid. This is now a net battle for P5 out on track as Felipe is into the pit lane as well. This is for his 2nd stop. Felipe, he pitted on lap 4, and now he'll be going, I would imagine, if he's got them, another fresh set of medium compound tyres to the end of the race for around 12 or 13 laps, which would be very good indeed. Jay Wizzy, by the way, saying in the chat there, Dylan the effing goat. We're still under the 9 o'clock watershed at this stage, so we can't really say that word. But Jay Wizzy saying there, Dylan is the goat. Yeah, quite literally at this stage. Felipe, by the way, out the pit lane and out ahead, tails in Miami, which is good.
Yeah, and he's done 2 stops, so very ideal as well. And he's got some clear air as well. You really want to be going in front of clear air, because otherwise you're going to be in a spot of bother. So he's going to see if he can get up to where he is at the moment. Everyone around him still needs to stop. So, yeah, I think he's in definitely a good position. 21.5 seconds you lose, I believe, in the pit lane. So, quite a lot to lose, but we'll see if he can get back to it at the moment. What can Yang do this time? He's got the DRS. I think he's got to be within a few tenths, really, to stand a chance of getting past the IRT man. To be fair play to the IRT man, who's done really, really well so far in this race so far. Definitely an outsider who I wasn't expecting to do well. Cortez gets past Baby, up to 16th position. Everyone's done their first stop at least. Oh, that was close. Young Tripkov almost made contact with T. Griff there.
That was just real sliding, basically on the break. Verstappen, by the way, is into the pit lane, just was not making any inroads in that to the softs. Macho, to be fair, not making any inroads in that to the hard compound tyre. I always say in commentaries around here, medium's probably the tyres to be on, and Verstappen has indeed gone onto that set of mediums. He is coming out the pit lane, I would assume, out ahead of Z3xer, perhaps, who's actually in the pit lane, so this is going to be a lot easier for Verstappen. He's going to be ahead of Z3xer and miles ahead of Felipe. He's going to be the next man alongside him. Jan Tripkov now on the back of Griff into the right-hander again, turn number 6. He's not actually going to dive it from an absolute mile back to the inside line. Jan Tripkov, what a move that is on the brakes. Aggressive, but I like it. Jan Tripkov through and he's into third. How on earth did he come from that far back? I do not know. That is why the PC man is now out for war here in China. Jan Tripkov through and he's into third with probably one of the most audacious moves I think I've ever seen in China.
That was a very brave move and a well-executed move as well. So well done to Jan Tripkov. Could he be on course to get a podium after starting at the back of the grid? That'll be really great to see and show that anyone could do well from near the back of the grid as well. So yeah, but he still needs to make a stop. But and he's wearing the fish helmet for good measure, who got absolutely robbed in the Formula 1 Game Awards, by the way. It didn't win best helmet. I'm gutted because I love the fish helmet. But there we go. He's using the fish helmet to good use today after getting past T-Griff.
Oh, Macho's
out the race!
Through the final corner, Macho out of the race. Will come to the scene of the accident very soon as Jan Tripkov comes through the final corner. He's got caught on the outside curb and he's bended into the wall on the left-hand side. So Macho out of the race. NSX points absolutely gone out the window. They're only going to be getting 18th position. They're only going to be classified, I think, down in that. Izat leads the way, Jan Tripkov in second, Griff there in third, and Izat now has been handed this race on an absolute plate.
I think he's very, very relieved that it's not happened to him because it can happen to anybody. So I wonder how well the tyres that Macho was actually on. He was on 7-lap-old hards. Maybe they were just too cold still for him. I don't know, but yeah, really sad.
There is a bump coming out the final corner, which I've noticed certainly in commentary around here. There's a bump on the outside, basically where the curb is. And that is why I think he's spun the car. He's got over-rotated too much on the curb on the outside, spun the car around. There are so many bumps around this track, you won't believe it. It does look very uneven through the banking, but there are bumps at this track where it just causes the car to be unsettled. Macho, sadly, though, out of the race. Energetics has left the session as well. Hopefully that doesn't cause any glitches in terms of the stream. Dylan, though, now on the back of Griff, interestingly. This is now a battle. What was going to be P3, now it's a battle for P2 as Griff scratches the back of Jan Tripkov potentially in toward the right-hander of turn number 13. Closing in, doesn't want to try and risk it down the inside line. Jan Tripkov takes the middle of the road. He's still there in second. And actually, Griff gets completely outdone there by Dylan. And actually, I think Griff, I'm not sure if he's disconnecting or something, certainly got ghosted inside, and Dylan all of a sudden is when he's into P3. Again, one of the most ridiculous moves and overtakes I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, there's been some brave moves I think today, which is great to see. Some of them worked very well and some of them has not. But yeah, fair play to the AlphaTauri driver of NLR Dylan, another team that's done quite well as well. So has Griff left the session? He was ghosted for a minute there as Dylan got past the ghosted Griff, and now Griff's not a ghost anymore.
There looks like there's a bit of desync going on. In fact, I think there is desync going on here in the lobby.
Yeah.
Now that the lobby host has left, Energetics is now left. Somebody's obviously taken control of the server, if you like, and obviously taken control of the lobby. And now Jan Tripkov on our end certainly is now P3. And it certainly looks like he's going in ghost mode or AI at this stage.
Yeah,
Dylan
it looks like it, yeah.
Dylan now in second is just a human compared to Jan Tripkov and Griff, who are AI cars. And if these guys get robbed, honestly, because of a desyncing lobby host, and it just comes to show that crossplay, I think, is a little bit worse.
It's not ready.
Yeah.
It's definitely not ready.
You put it like that. I was going to say it was a little bit worse for wear, but I think that's probably putting it right on the nail on the head, as Griff is on the back now of Jan Tripkov even, in toward the right-hand return 13. But look, they've lost 1.2, 1.3 seconds to the back of Dylan. They're not close enough for the EOS, and they look like they're being taken control of AI at this stage. Yodi, by the way, in the chat, that's Macho there in the chat saying he got stuck on the curb, he bottomed out and got centered into the wall. So exactly what I mentioned, that outside curb, bottoming out on that outside curb. Unfortunate for him, now Macho out of the race, and NSX from hero to zero, sadly, in terms of their last two results.
Yeah, because obviously they did well in Miami and they're doing rubbish here.
Yeah, they won actually in Australia last round as well with Montana. Slash saying, how hard is it to stay in the lobby? I agree. How hard is it to stay in a lobby on an F1 game? Yeah. Answers on post.
The lobbies need to be done differently next game in terms of how they run.
They do. Now, I've heard, don't quote me at this, I've heard apparently that they're going to be putting the Unity engine apparently in next year's game. Don't quote me on that. I've read rumours about it, potentially. So, might be getting a new game engine.
I don't even know what that means, but...
basically a new game engine, so it means everything will run probably a bit smoother.
Oh, good.
Hope so.
I hope so. I hope so too. I don't even know. So...
Yeah. Dylan still in second. Jan Tripkov and Griff, I can only assume... And in fact, actually, I can only assume now that... I can't imagine that they've dropped off in pace. They cannot have dropped off in pace compared to Dylan, who's on, what, 2 lap older tyres. He absolutely sailed on by both of them. He's 2 seconds ahead of Jan Tripkov and Griff, and it still looks like they're losing around 5-6 tenths a lap. I don't get what's going on. Dylan there in second, doing a fantastic job, and Jan Tripkov and Griff, Baby is out the race, coming to the S section.
I think he just went too flat out in that corner and he lost the rear and he's out of the race. So China has taken 4 victims today.
Yeah, indeed. China there, 4 victims. Baby, 2 McLarens. I've been Mike also included in that, so he is not the go-to commentator of tonight's lobby here in China. Macho there, 18th as well. Energetics out the race early on, and Baby out of the race, the 4th. Beginning to go. Dylan, apparently he's rapid, is what has been said by Hype, and Hype might be giving the hype to Dylan, certainly. Don't want to use that pun ever again. Dylan there, 13.2 seconds. 2 lap older hards, 2 lap older mediums, I should say, around about 8-10% in terms of tyre wear around here. Dylan is catching Izza. He's caught him by a second over the last 2 laps.
Yeah, he has. He really has. He's smashing it at the moment, I have to say, with the likes of Dylan. And I mean, well, we have to look at stops as well. That can make a difference. A lot of people are stretching it out for the soft compound tyres at the end, but they don't really want to go on the soft just yet because they will lose their optimum pace very quickly after lap 4 or 5. Yeah, plenty of chance for people still in this lobby to gain some decent points on their rivals that obviously have retired due to crashes. I think they're all been due to crashes. No retirements in pits, luckily, because if anyone retires in the pits in this lobby, I will have some words, because it's for charity. As Dylan is in, by the way, and so is Crazy Bird, so they're going in for their final stop, as it looks like.
Is this for a set of softs for Dylan? Yes, it is. Red wall tyre on. Dylan makes his second pit stop. He's going to be coming out the pit lane probably ahead of Crazy Birds. It may be even behind Samba. Yeah, I think he's going to be around Felipe area. There is Felipe coming out the pit lane. There is... Oh, is that Dylan joins on the path of Felipe in towards turn 1? It's so difficult to try and even get an overtake to them. Felipe. It has to be.
It has to be desync.
Dylan there in 7th.
He just ghosted through.
He didn't go through on my end, but the way Felipe reacted there, it was not a question of he's just made a mistake sort of reaction. That was a reaction of an AI car. I'm convinced.
Yeah, that looked like it, doesn't it? And Samba's disconnected as well. My end. Oh, there's a lot of people ghosted my end.
Yeah, Samba disconnecting. Just trying to see as well. I think everyone in the top 5 is fine. Izzat is going to be coming in the pit lane. One would imagine this lap around. No, he continues on at least another lap. So Izzat continues on at least one more lap. Jan Tripkov there in second has pulled away from Griff, to be fair. It's now 1.4 seconds. Pipe saying, by the way, hats on PS? Maybe. Maybe. And actually, Jan Tripkov, according to my screen, is in the pit lane, even though he's just coming into the pit lane entry now, which is very strange. It is complete desync.
Yeah, I think we're both suffering desync at the moment.
He's slowed down. Sorry, he's slowed down. The pit lane, and now he's coming out the pit lane. What on earth?
What the hell?
What on earth are we seeing?
What are we seeing in this China lobby? Oh my! What has caused this is the host to leave the lobby.
Yeah. And I've got my head in my hands because I literally cannot explain what is going on. There is a yellow flag in Sector 3. That is, I believe...
A phantom yellow flag.
Yeah, that's Real DC, if I'm not mistaken, down at the back of the field.
Yeah.
He's there in 16th. Izat, by the way, is on the other side of the track, so obviously he's not desynced at all in this, and is pulling away from Griff. So I can only assume Izat is going in human mode. That's what we're seeing. Griff there is in second. He's ghosted on your screen, certainly. And the rest of the field, it seems to me, might be ghosted completely. Jan ahead of Dylan.
The only one that's ghosted is Samba. The only one that's ghosted is Samba for me.
Yeah, Samba for me, yeah. Oh, I don't know
Dylan has got past him.
Yeah, Dylan threw and he's into fifth. Jan Tripkov, though, ahead of Dylan, which was the big thing there, because he was behind him, I believe, before the pit stop. Of course, with the desync that we experienced, I certainly saw the timing screen. In fact, actually, on my timing screen... Oh, no, he just came at the pit lane. Ignore me. Last time around, I noticed the timing screen had changed by about 20 seconds or so. So, we had a bit of desync. I think everything's fixed itself now, I hope. Is that though?
Apparently Felipe's P4 on this screen.
And he's P7 on ours.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what's going on anymore.
Oh, God. Why do I always join a lobby that has issues?
We've got a phantom yellow flag now in the middle sector, which has just gone. Back to green flag racing. And now, we've got... Who on earth is that coming out of the pit lane? Was that Griff? I think that was... I've just seen Griff being spawned completely out of his pit box. He's in the first sector now. He's coming... In fact, he's actually got Crazy Bird right behind him.
Oh, it's desync. It's definitely desync.
You can only but laugh at this point, I think.
Oh, can they just red flag the race?
Might have to. Might have to. We're still going to continue on, as regardless of what we're told, certainly. I certainly have not checked Discord as to what is going on.
It's still carrying on until they say otherwise.
Still continuing on. Looks like...
Another phantom yellow flag. 2 phantom yellow flags.
Yeah, so, there we go. The conversation's beginning in Discord. Felipe's P4, he's ahead of Dylan behind Verstappen. He's not on our screen, he's P6, he's on a set of mediums, and he's getting overtaken.
He's P7 on my screen.
He's getting overtaken by Ginger on my screen.
Same.
And now this is for P6, P7. I don't get what's going on.
No, it's P7 for me.
P7, P8 is that the battle? Oh my...
Yeah, it's different on your screen to mine. I'm seeing your stream.
Ginger P6, Felipe P7. I can only commentate on what's in front of my screen, certainly. And Nathan's saying that...
this is annoying. It is caused by the host leaving. Oh my god.
At least one thing that we can say for certain. Real DC...
Don't leave if you're the host.
And that. And Real DC is definitely in 16th position. Just had it confirmed by Nathan. Definitely in there. Jan Tripkov and Dylan, by the way, in what is a phantom battle for P3. Dylan threw and he's into P3, and now Izat all of a sudden was 4.
Jan Tripkov is P5 on my screen.
Oh, he's P4 on my screen. What on earth is going on? I do not know.
Oh god.
You just... Honestly, if you're in my position and you're in Jess's position right now, you'd be banging your head off a wall. A right brick wall, I think, at this stage. Oh.
Oh. So, I don't know what will be the actual results.
I think, yeah, there's going to be some sort of discussion. I'm certainly going to stay live.
I would have avoided this race, to be honest.
Might have to be. Griff is 6th for us. Griff is 8th for me.
Griff is 4th for me.
He's 4th for you, he's 8th for me, and he's 6th for them. There's some way in between. Jan Tripkov now is fighting down the inside of Dylan. For P3.
Not on my screen.
What?
Not on my screen.
Oh my god. Is that leads the way by 13 seconds on my screen.
Yeah, well, at least that's right.
Verstappen's on the set of mediums, he's in second on my screen. And I think that's where the differences may end.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's right is the gaps between P1 and P2.
Nathan
And P3.
Nathan now apparently saying, and I think he's probably heard this on stream, that Real DC apparently is now P1 for him. Yeah, you're not getting away with that. You're not getting away with that at all. Dylan now, by the way, is through into P2 on my end. There's another phantom yellow flag in the middle sector.
Yeah, he's P2 my end now.
Dylan P2 on their end. Ben JS is saying in the Discord as well, commentators desync as Jack is having battles with people. Yes, he is.
Oh, so the drivers are fine apparently. It's just us that are having a desync.
Looks like it. Looks like it. But no, but if they've got different angles from us. Are they in the correct positions on their end? That's what we're going to have to figure out.
I don't know. I literally don't know.
Oh, what a way to end
Gary to the rescue!
Gary to the rescue. Here we go. Gary's messaging in Discord. We'll get the results from a few drivers and see if they match up and go from there. There we go. There's an official confirmation.
Verstappen has been passed by Griff now. Griff's up to third on my screen.
No.
The battle.
Verstappen's P3 and he's 0.5 of a second ahead of Jen Tripkov in fourth.
Oh god, quick trick off his P5.
Felipe and Griff are having a good battle. A fake battle, we could only assume, for P7 and 8 at this stage. Oh.
They're ghosted, oh god.
And actually, Griff is pulling away from Felipe down the straight as well. They're P7 and P8 on my screen, as I say. Sort of softs for Griff, set of mediums for Felipe. Another phantom yellow flag in the final sector this time. Izzat leads the way. 13.3 seconds. The one constant that has been, certainly on both of our screens, Izzat has maintained that gap to whoever behind him. 13.2 seconds. He has looked absolutely dominant since Macho's spin.
Yeah, he has. To be honest, he's been leading since the very start for most of it, and he's doing a great job. He's got 1.5 laps to go. As long as he keeps it clean on those softs, he's on the fetish tyres as well. He should be all good.
He should be all good indeed. Just been a message, by the way, put out on Discord as well. If you're a lobby host, please don't leave, even if you DNF after the race is over. That's what we find out, certainly here in China. But we are, thankfully, for many of us, going on to the final lap of the race very soon indeed. Izzat leads the way, Dylan in second. Here comes Jan Tripkov's AI on the back of Verstappen's AI for battle for P3 down the straight. It's like commentating on a 5-lap race around here. Jan Tripkov around the outside. Does get the job done, and he's into P3 on Verstappen. That's on my end, anyways.
He's just running on his own, my end.
That brick wall, I don't have my camera on my PSVL. That wall on the right-hand side of me is going to get punched, I think, after this race.
I wish I can, but I'm commentating next race.
You are indeed. Good luck, is what I will say, probably.
Thanks.
Izzat leads the way, though. 13.3 seconds. He's been the constant as to everyone, I think, in this lobby. He has done an absolutely sensational job. Obviously, I'm not under the impression that this race is going to be taken. I'm sure you're not, Jess, as well. I think the results are probably going to be scrapped. There is a spinner, however, and that, I think, is Real DC who has spun.
Yeah, that is Real DC, yeah.
We've told something at least. Real DC has spun.
Yay!
He's in P15 and Matt is suddenly in 16th, which I don't get. But anyways.
Yeah, the gaps are the same for me as well. But Izzat has got a few more corners to go, and he would win it for his team.
Definitely so, yeah. Izzat has just absolutely dominated this race. As I say, if Macho was still in this race, I think there would have been a really good fight, certainly towards the end of the race. The race certainly taken some sting out of it, certainly, by the desync, by everything that's been going on in this race. But Izzat now proudly has crossed the line. He's through the final corner on my end, now across the line to take the win in China. Complete desync. Verstappen there in the end is in second.
He's coming going towards the penultimate corner.
He's coming into the final corner now for me. Verstappen in the end is crossing the line now in second. He's around the final corner.
What is going on?
Finishes in second. Jan Tripkov's already came across the line to finish in third. Griff round the final corners finishing in fourth. Dylan in the end is fifth. Felipe is in sixth. Ginger is in seventh. Samba eighth.
No, Samba's in. Hold on. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Ginger 7th, Samba 8th, did you say?
Yep.
Crazy Birds 9th, Z3 10th, yeah?
Yeah, I think we're seeing the correct result now.
I think we're seeing the correct result, yeah. TL44 12th, Miami 11th.
Yep.
Will 13th, Cortez 14th, Will DC 15th, Matt 16th. Hooray!
We've got the right results.
We've got the right results, at least.
Even though we have been commentating on a fake race for the last half an hour or so, we have eventually got the correct result. Cortez, by the way, to the line to finish in 14th, and Matt's AI is down there in 16th. I think he disconnected from the session.
Well, we have to find out from the drivers as well, because we're just comparing it from a commentator's standpoint. We need to find out from the drivers if it's exactly the same.
Yeah, Matt's now to the line, finishes then P16, and now we've got
results are correct. I've just been told by Nolan that results are correct.
Results are correct. So Matt's 15th, Real DC 16th?
Yes.
And because we've got a glitch in the lobby, Matt apparently is still going out on track.
Oh, God. Oh, no, we're good.
We're good, there we go. Finally. Nathan's saying as well, yeah, that's the correct result. It's the same result that's on Verstappen's POV, so we can trust Verstappen, certainly. Jan Tripkov apparently gets driver of the day of all the Driving Game fans. I don't know who to give that driver of the day to. Probably the only one man that was constant in that race, and that was the race winner in Izza, who, on our end, was the same. 13 seconds in the end winning, and Izza certainly deserves driver of the day, awarded by the in-game fans. Probably, certainly, not awarded by Codemasters, at least, given that complete and utter fallacy, is what I'm going to say.
I'm a bit frustrated about what we witnessed. We didn't know what was going on. So, yeah, apologies of what you just witnessed, by the way, because that was absolutely... we couldn't see anything. We saw fake battles all the time, but... there we go. I swear to God it doesn't happen in the next race, because otherwise that would be an absolute nightmare.
It will be. All of that stress, I think, that's put us through, I hope is going to get us a few extra donations. Put it that way.
Yes, please.
That would be awesome if it did. However, the correct result is apparently as follows. If it is the correct result, is as follows. It is Izzat on top, from Verstappen there in second. Jan Tripkov with the fastest lap of 1:33.6 there in third. Griff there in fourth, with Dylan there in fifth. Felipe in sixth. Ginger seventh. Nathan Samba in eighth. Crazy Birds there in 90. Threekser for Bottle Job Racing there down in P10. Miami in 11th. Tails in 12th. Will Lewis 13th. Cortez 14th. They are the ones that apparently finished and got classified along with Reed DC and Matcha a lap down. Baby there 17th. Matcha on 18th. Feel really sorry for Matcha. We didn't really deserve that. I've Bryn Mike down in 19th. And Energetics, unfortunately, picking up the wooden spoon down there in P20. My goodness me. That was chaos. Hectic, and now we're going to do it all over again once again, and I, however, leaving the commentary box for the next race. Jess, you're going to be taking over, of course. Who are you commentating alongside? Is it Dan?
Yes, it is Daniel. Daku's joining back after an hour break. So, yeah, but I'm going to need a break after all of that, because I need to get a drink.
Certainly so, certainly so. We're going to fling it then back to J. Cole, back, of course, to the live stream once again. I really hope you did enjoy that race. We'll run through the donations very quickly. I'm just going to get up the links very quickly indeed. Give me a second. I'm just trying to get this up on my end. And at the moment, we have got £590 raised for the British Heart Foundation. Felix, as we mentioned at the start of the stream, the start of the Chinese Grand Prix anyways, he sent in a message, £7 donation. Thank you so much, Felix. Great racing for great causes. Remembering our friend Mads, these 24 hours, this race goes to show the kindness of the F1 League racing community, which makes me proud. Good luck to all competing. And also for the brain tumor research as well. I'm just going to have a look I'd see if we've got any existing more donations for that. £229, so exactly the same as we started off, is exactly the same they are. And Funky Chicken, if you are watching this stream and we're still live on our end, no, I'm not going to be singing live on the stream, and I'm not going to be giving that for £2. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'm in a better mood tomorrow, but after that race, I don't think I'm going to sing.
Yeah, so I think we better get going for. I think we definitely need a new lobby after that. If someone says no, then they're screwed. But yeah, we need a new lobby after this. So yeah, I'll let you round off this bit before we have our break.
Yeah, definitely so. On the next round of the
Singapore.
It's Singapore. You're already on it. You're absolutely on it. Singapore.
I have to do notes for this track. I'm aware of what's going on.
Longest race in this event, certainly from our perspective as well. Of course, every single penny of that is given to both charities, of course, goes to both charities, and of course we remember NSX Mads and Vadim Shvekov, of course, who sadly passed away as a result of heart attack and brain cancer.
We've got a Stewards update. -3 points for Team Hamburger for reset to track for China.
And that was caught on stream. So Team Hamburger,
yes, it was.
Team Hamburger will probably going to come for me in the final couple of races tomorrow, I think. Terrible. I'm going to escape before they try and get me before then, and I'm probably going to try and catch up on the Strictly final, which is, I don't know what's been happening there. I'm going to catch up on the Strictly final. We're going to fling it back over to J. Cole, however. Big thank you, of course, to Miss Jessica Ball for joining me in the comment box. I am going to be back, of course, I believe for Spain for my first stint tomorrow, and then, of course, for the final 2 rounds in Saudi Arabia, and indeed in... Where's the final round again? Abu Dhabi.
I should know because I'm racing in it.
It's not Abu Dhabi.
Bahrain.
It's Bahrain. Goodness me, it's Bahrain. Saudi Arabia and Bahrain. Final 2 rounds of the 24 Hours of F1 event. Maybe by then we'll find our champion. Who knows? We're going to be back. I'm going to be back certainly tomorrow morning, fresh and early, hopefully bright-eyed as well. We're going to now fling it over to J. Cole before we get this next lobby up and running. So, Mr. J. Cole, over to you, my friend.
Woo! Right then, we are live here for Singapore. Apologies for what you had to deal with for the past half an hour there, but we are back. I'm certainly back anyway. Hopefully Singapore is a lot better than China, please. Otherwise I'm going to have my head in the wall. But joining me in the commentary box for this hour and for the next couple of hours at least, I believe, is we got Dan back again. Daka, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, Jess, and yeah, I watched that China race with my head in my hands. It was quite a mess. Thankfully, the results actually were correct in the end on your end, so
yeah,
the confusion somewhat alleviated, but it was still certainly a little bit scrappy. Hopefully, this one runs smooth. We are here at Singapore, probably one of the most technically demanding tracks that these guys are going to have to put up with tonight. So, with a full 50% race in front of us, let's get into it.
Yeah, one of the longest races on the calendar in the 24 Hours of F1, and unsurprisingly, a few people have chosen to have 3 seconds off in today's Singapore race. So we got Esports Wales who have chosen to do their 3 seconds off in this race, as well as IRT of, I think, Mixer in this lobby. And we got ERT, who's going to be starting last in Singapore. So those are your wild cards, I think, today. So we will get started and go on board with someone that the game choose to, or we'll go on something very, very close. We were meant to go on board with Connor, but let's go on board with Ryan, because you always seem to go on board with the Hasses anyway. First using the Formula 1 scene back in 2008, we had Sebastian Vettel, Lewis Hamilton won a few times, obviously Max Verstappen as well. The safety cars made at least one appearance in every Singapore Grand Prix. Held today as he heads towards turn number 5 now as he heads through this back straight here, this DRS straight as well. It'll help if I get my telemetry right. There we go. As you head towards turn 7, plenty of overtaking opportunities going through turn 7 and Memorial Corner, heading towards past Stamford, and then heading towards Padang of turn 9. You're going to be heading towards the old Singapore Sling. coming up, which I absolutely like as well. And it's named after the city-state's favourite cocktail, believe it or not. Chacha could be very good around here as you head towards turn number 12. A lot of people can invalidate by crashing into a wall through here. Very blind apex as you go through turn 13 at least, heading towards Connaught as well as you go through another long straight as well. It's very enjoying in real life. They lose so much... they have a lot of sweat they tend to gain through here as well. But in real life, I can't bear imagine what the drivers will be thinking, obviously. Quite a few invalidations already. Obviously, we had one from AJ who got disqualified. Connor's invalidated his run. We got a battle for the front between Smokey and Izzo at the moment. Obviously, Izzo won the last race in China. We got Ryan coming towards the final corner for QRT. Turns 22 and 23. And it is a 137.5 for him. But pole was a 136.018 from VSR Smokey. Good lap from him. Izzo not that far behind. We could see a nice battle between the two of them.
Yeah, that's a very encouraging, just a few hundredths of a second separating those two at the top, and certainly very competitive and behind as well. So hopefully we are going to be seeing a good fight up the front, and hopefully nice and clean as well. So we'll get the results to you in just a minute. Smokey it is on that pole position, and I'll tell you, having commentated on 2 races with him, and he could have easily won both of those races. Right up there, Izza just behind in second place. Then we have Nico third, Felix 1 and 4th from Blizzard. That is a high quality with Per Roger there. 4th end's covering the top 6, and that is, as I said, a high quality top 6. Then it's Benji S, Drofta, of course, with the 3 seconds off as well, so keep an eye out there. Ryan and Jerome round out the top 10. Then Harry Noirg, Charlie Harris, Riskkeeper, I think, Riskkeeper.
I don't know.
Tiramisu, J. Cole, Mech, who's also got 3 seconds off. We saw Dylan, AJ Wuhan, and Connor invalidate or crash out their laps. AJ by 24, starting from the back for Team ERT. That is your grid for Singapore, a race usually devoid of overtaking, but we'll see how things unfold as we load in. We're going to get this one started.
Yeah, we should be loading into it very shortly, as I was saying, but obviously since it is a long race, the tyre wear can be a massive factor around here. The softs don't last at all, so if I were you, do not use the softs too much. Save it for either the beginning or the end of the race. Usually I say save it for the beginning just to get it out of the way pretty much, but the mediums and the hards will be used more often, of course, than not. Around about 9/10 difference between the softs and the mediums. The hard is 1.8, so not as much as the last game. I know the game says you can run it for 9 laps. Tyre temperatures speak a different story. It only lasts like 3 or 4 laps, but again, obviously, we have to wait and see as we're about to go underway. No formation lap, of course, because otherwise we would be here for hours. So we are in a new lobby, which is great to see. So hopefully, touch wood, no desync, and hopefully the lobby host stays exactly where they are. So the 5 red lights will be coming on soon. Here we go, 5 red lights, Red Bull and Alfa Romeo on the front row. Who's going to get the best start? Well, it is lights out, and away we go. And it's a good start from the AlphaTauris at the back, but it's a good start for Smokey as he it stays ahead of Izzo heading towards turn 1. Nikostos has a good start as well. Quite a few mishaps in towards turn 2 and 3 as well, as they all go. The sweeping left-hander coming up now, heading towards turn number 4 now. We saw Felix 1 getting past Ben there up into P6 as well. Harry's had a good start as well for LOE. SF1L or Per Rogers had a good start as well, up into 8th place. AJ is up to 60th, but 50th. There's too many AJs in this lobby. A bit of a love tap from Jacob and Ryan, it looks like, but I think the main battles are happening in the background as well. Everyone else seems to be getting away scot-free. Speaking of tyres, though, out of the top 10 at least, only Blizzard has gone for the soft tyres.
And Per Roger on the hards. They're the 2 outliers. Everyone else inside that top 10 going for the medium, which is probably what I would have went for. It's the safe bet. Blizzard in P4, though, that means that the overtakes are going to have to come early. You mentioned Jekyll and Ryan. Those 2 are fighting it out into the hairpin at turn 13, and through it goes Jekyll. Few swaps of places further down. I think Ridscaper's gone off. Dylan was off earlier on in the race as well. AJ Wuhan and Connor battling out. Connor, who was on for pole position, I think, before crashing out in his lap. Down the inside, gets in a 16th place. He's on softs. He's going to try and work his way through the order. So the tire strategies are going to play themselves out. As you'll so often see, it is Smokey leading, Izzat, Nico P3, a bit of a gap opening up, and Blizzard, who we think is going to be the one to watch in these early laps. The soft tires, as you mentioned, go off quick, so if you're running them, you've got to make them work in these opening few laps.
Yeah, definitely, and that's why I think Blizzard's got to get past the Kossos as soon as he can, and you can see the predicted pit stop strategy for the two-stop medium soft is probably what a lot of drivers will be going through today. A few drivers have gone for first stops already. Connor and Riskkeeper having a bit of a mare at the moment. Connor's on a set of the soft tyres with Riskkeeper and the other Ferrari on the medium compound tyres. So we'll watch Blizzard using his ERS, 46% at the moment. We'll see if he can get past the Haas, tip the car, or is he going to stay behind? He's staying behind at the moment. There's yellow flags happening everywhere. There is an Alpine that's gone off, which I believe was our teammate. Yes, it was our teammate that had a bit of a spin. So Riskkeeper is trying to catch up there as the top five go relatively unscathed. Blizzard has broken free from DRS from Felix, so at least he's able to battle in a very good battle between himself and Nikossos at the moment. Battle for the lead though is getting interesting. 0.5 of a second, now 0.3 of a second, separating the guys at Visual Esports and Isaac Kush in P2. Now, both VSR and Isaac's team have won a race in this 24-hour. I think they're going to try and get one off. Excuse me, one off each other here. I've got a bad cough in this event. I do apologise. Yellow flag. That is QRT that has found a bit of a spin. Ryan.
Yeah, QRT Ryan with a bit of a setback early on in this race. The battle up the front, though, is certainly one to keep your eye on. Felix One has managed to get himself back in de facto DRS range. It gets activated on this lap with Smokey leading the lane. Few gaps opening up. Ben GS has been distanced. Drofta ripping back as well. Per Roger on the hards, trying to match it, and it hasn't done a bad job considering the hard tires will be hard to switch on, but eventually now they should be up to temperature and good to go. Nikossos is going to come under pressure, I think, from Blizzard, heading up towards Memorial Corner. There's no DRS for the man in P3 at the moment, and Blizzard's going to try and get a run, but there's a very short braking zone into turn 7, so you have to be pretty much up and alongside, and Blizzard unable to do so. So right now, the soft tires not quite working right now. The gap's still beginning to open up. Smokey, now that he's got clean air, pretty much for the first time in any of the races so far, leads away from Izzat. Both those guys with a good amount of battery, whereas the two behind him, Nikossos and Blizzard, struggling relatively speaking, Jess. Those two have pretty much completely drained their battery. Those front two looking very confident and pacey up at the front.
And I think all of this is allowing Felix to be in this train as well, which is not the good news if you're Blizzard or Nikossos at this moment in time. And we just had another incident. Team Humberger is not doing very well in the steward's office at the moment. They've got another penalty, -3 championship points for Jan Tripkov for incident with Nolan at China. So yeah, the only instance we had so far, and Team Humberger have lost 6 points due to it. So yeah, not ideal if you're that team. You got to bounce back if I were you. They may not agree with it, but they just have to forget about it, focus on the rest of the session, and yeah, I'm trying to find out which one. I think it's the team that Yax is racing in at the moment. So yeah, I wonder if the team will choose to feed the penalty in their ears at the moment. If I were them, I wouldn't, because it would let them distract, unfortunately. But yeah, there is some apologies in the chat. That's good. All good. We can forget about that incident and focus on the rest of the race. And I hope we don't get any more, because it's for charity, for goodness sake. Blizzard, by the way, you can see how the tyres are dropping off, by the way, on those softs. He's already losing time to Nikossos in P3. So yeah, he needs to get off those softs as quick as he can. He's already in danger of losing a potential position to Felix.
Yeah, but of course, the DRS train is not going to be helping Felix at all. Blizzard still has DRS to defend, both him and Nikossos, though, as we mentioned, completely devoid of battery. Smokey, though, his pace looks exceptional. He's managed to distance Izzat by just over 1 second. Izzat is, well, slightly lower in terms of the battery as well, so we'll not get used to it. Just trying to deploy that down the straight, work back into that DRS and keep this fight for the front alive. But Smokey's pace up the front, phenomenal as it stands. You can see some gaps beginning to open up early doors here. Singapore, of course, such a long race. Already got the first penalty. That's for Skipper, who hasn't had an easy start, it must be said, to the Singapore Grand Prix. Dropping back and then a penalty to add to his troubles. Blizzard now beginning to slip from the coastal, so I think that first pit stop will be coming soon. We've already seen some early pit stops. Connor and Dylan further down the field. Don't expect it from the median runners just yet, but I think Singapore, a track that's difficult to overtake, strategic pit stops could come in very early here, and Blizzard, predictably, is going to dive in.
Yeah, not that surprising, to be honest. He was going to hope to get past Nicosos, but he did not. But at least it gets his first stop out of the way, and he can go on two mediums to the end, and that's one different tyre compound out of the way as well. He's going to be 15th for now, but don't forget, he was the one and only person out in the front runners to make his first pit stop, and that's the danger obviously of being on the soft. So that's a bit worrying. If you want to do a medium soft strategy, you probably have to wait until lap 27, 28 to go into the pits, but at least they don't have to worry about any safety cars at this moment in time, as Reskeeper has gone ahead of him, but surely Blizzard is going to get past him as well. Meanwhile, Jerome in the Aston Martin has got past Harry there, up to 8th place as well, but Harry could challenging at him as he heads towards sector 2 of turn 8 as well. Very technical part of the circuit, and we're only on lap 5 as well, so it's very brave for these guys to be the second hardest race on the calendar, obviously apart from the wet race in Portugal, is definitely Singapore. So the ones who have got this are definitely doing a solid job just to try and keep it on the walls. Not much battles happening up front though, unless you're Drop Dust. I have to say, this is the best performance I've seen from Esports Wales in a while. It's about time to get some of their quick drivers in and try and get some solid points. Obviously they did well in Australia as well with Colin, so they are backing it up here in Singapore, of course. Did not do well in China, but Droftas is looking to make sure Esports Wales gets some more points, and he's definitely doing it a good job up in P6 and chasing down Ben on pace for P5.
Yeah, those two running in tandem at the moment there. P5, P6 on the track at the moment as they cross the line to start lap 6. Everything's starting to spread out further up the line. We've got J. Cole up behind Harry Noirg. That's going to be, I imagine, a pass down the straight. Harry Noirg has burned through the ERS, looks to have burned through the tyres as well, and it's an easy move for J. Cole down in turn 1. So that is, in the end, I believe that team dropping back through the order. J. Cole moving up though for Team 4S, then up into 9th on the track. We've got a spinner further down the road. I think that is our Team Mech who's gone off heading out of turn 1, and yeah, it has been, to be completely honest, a very mixed event so far for the international racing team that Mech represents. On those softs as well, that early stint has not worked out at all, so a few mishaps already further down the field. A big train then in that midfield as AJ Wuhan has gone past Charlie Harris in the background there. So as things are very bunched up, even at a track where it's difficult to overtake, these drivers just looking for any which way to catch each other out. At a track like Singapore, you need to potentially to overtake, do something unexpected that the driver in front isn't going to see coming. That's how you can progress here.
Yeah, and especially with the top half of the field and the standings being so close, if you have a bad race, then that's it. It may cost you for the rest of this one, and it may be hard for you to bounce back and take the championship in this 24 hours. So, and with Umberger losing potentially 6 points, it's going to be the likes of QVR and VSR. They could catch up. SF1L as well. Obviously, Team NXX didn't have a good race in China, so it's their chance to bounce back at the moment, but they're not doing that as well at the moment down in P19. So it's just all so close, but at least I think pretty much all of the teams in this top 10 have at least made at least one mistake. So yeah, plenty of chances for people lower down to potentially gain some good points as well. Maybe CSL potentially as well, as Charlie Harris almost got past Wuhan as well, up to 13th place, as Connor has got past Mick. As unsurprisingly, Mick has come in out of those soft tyres onto a set of mediums, and I believe that is his first stop. Yeah, it is his first stop out of the way. I'm quite surprised he was on those tyres for that long, to be honest, because that's probably why he had that spin.
Charlie Harris is lining up. AJ Wuhan heading into turn at number 8 decides not to go for the move though. They're all stacking up behind Harry Noirg here, who runs 10th, holding everyone back for the moment, and a bit of a train forming just outside of that top 10. Everyone eager to try and move their way up the line should the opportunity present itself. So early pit stops we've just seen, but 4, that's Blizzard, Connor, Dylan and Mick, who have all dived into the box early doors here at Singapore. But things fairly static at the moment, very difficult to find your way through, and these guys, I imagine, on the medium, which is probably the best race tyre overall, will be looking to, in general, be extending this stint potentially for a little bit longer. So they're potentially going to stay out. Maybe some drivers will pit early to try and gain some track position, but really everyone's going to be very misaligned. We've seen the soft runners come in already, but you could see the medium tyres being used for a little while longer.
Yes, I've got the strategies here on my trusty Google. Not Google, but my my spreadsheet that I made for this event. 17 laps the mediums can last for around this track. So they can go lap 17 if they want to, but they will have to pick quite a few more times. So they may want to do 2 medium stints and 1 soft stint, maybe 1 medium stint, 1 hard stint, 1 soft stint. Oh, it's someone's had a bit of an off. That is AJ down in 13th position. As we got the Red Bull of Charlie Harris has now gone past him at this moment in time. So what can AJ do then from ERT? Had a bit of a mixed bag, but there has been some races where they performed very well. 3 wide almost, heading towards turn 7 with the Alpine of Harry and CRL, AJ and Charlie Harris as well. That's quite a nice midfield, I have to say, and yeah, that can get quite spicy before the pit stops. They really got to come into some clear air, really, so some people may want to pit early to get some clear air before, obviously, some of the other guys go into the pits. But I feel sorry for CRL Wuhan at the moment, because he's stuck in that big sandwich. He's got a few cars in front of him, a few cars behind him. He doesn't know what to do, but he's going to be under pressure from Charlie now, heading towards the start of Sector 3. Nope, he is not. He's staying behind. But I'm looking at the battery usage at the moment. We've got the guy in 12th who's got 25% left. Harry's got 8 to 10% left. Charlie Harris has got about 60. And AJ for ERT is only running 13%. So quite a mixed bag. But the driver in P13 has got the most and will probably gain from this.
You would think so, and he has looked the most likely of making an overtake as well in this train, Charlie Harris. So I think could potentially have more pace than what this train is showing. AJ does dive apparently a terrible lap, I think, just generally so. That pit stop probably a way of just getting out of that rut. We'll see what the tyre strategy is going to be, because I think even with a 2-stop, looking after the tyres is going to be adamant, and he is actually going to go for the softs, which is interesting. We'll see how that's going to work out. Ryan is on and off, heading out of turn 3, and Blizzard will sail on by, heading at turn 5. Oh my word, they nearly come together as Ryan tried to recover. Just about managing to avoid contact there, though. Blizzard does get through, trying to eat into that clean air that he has to use to the group in front. He's obviously trying to get an undercut on the net race leader. Still Smokey, who leads, nearly 3 seconds clear of Izzat. The pace from Smokey has been simply phenomenal and has just pulled clear of everyone else. Nikosos is also looking to try and get up towards Izzat, who seems to be struggling a bit more on the tyres after a great start to the race. So the gaps have opened up a little bit amongst those top 4, then a bit of a gap down to Benjies and Dropdas. Still run together. These two cannot be separated at the moment. They run a few seconds in front of Per Roger, the leading hard runner, who's being tracked by Giron. So that is how things seem to be able to stand near the front of the race. A few gaps opening up, still some battles going on, and right now, for the most part, the medium runners still deciding to extend this stint for as long as possible.
I think they've got to, really, because then they can really push towards the end of the race on the last mediums that they have as well. Or maybe they want to do a small soft stint, maybe coming up next, and then just get their 2 stops done nice and early. I don't know. I'm not the best person in terms of strategy. Obviously, it's up to the drivers. And there's certain drivers who really need to gain from this, because there's some of their drivers did not do well in the last event. So if I was Smokey, what would you do? You got the least to lose at this point, because you've got a 3.3 second gap. You could come in whenever you like, really, but there is a threat of losing to the undercut. But we don't know what is more powerful around it. It does depend on the guys around you if they do not get caught in traffic. And for those of you that are wondering how to donate, you could donate to the British Heart Foundation and all the brain tumor research by clicking on the images on the left hand side of the Twitch screen, and you can donate so far. So far we're on £589.59p for British Heart Foundation. For Brain Tumour Research, we're on £229.20. So we're around about £700, £800 now overall, which I have to say is very, very good indeed, as we're heading towards lap 10 of 31. Well, lap 11 of 31 soon as well. Smokey still keeping his cool there up front. But I think the one that could get the move done soon is Droftas from Esports Wales versus Ben, not from QVR, because QVR's team Mercedes. I'm trying to remember what team Ben is in. But there we go. It is confusing at times because some people are not representing the esports team they're actually in. They're representing a different team. So, yeah, it's quite hard at times, but obviously we'll get through it. But yeah, Droftas looking good so far as well. But yeah, we'll see the pit stops very soon.
Yeah, esports teams can be quite deceptive. Ben GS is racing with Team CSL, just to clarify then. Leading from the Esports Wales driver of Droftas, who has looked like making that move, but has that battery disadvantage, which makes the overtake so much more difficult to achieve. Charlie Harris's round out of the final corner, after we've kept saying looks likely to overtake. Izzat gets a penalty near the front of the race, which ultimately, right now, is dropping him all the way down to 4th. So, penalties, well, you won't generally see too many of them at Singapore. They can happen and they can hinder you. So Izzat picking up 1 and 2 drivers in range, looking to try and benefit from that. So Izzat, after nearly getting pole, nearly getting the race lead off to start as well, just the pace hasn't quite came through. So I think if there's any driver out of the top 4 that's going to pit early, it will be Izzat, just to try and get a new stint going. But of course, you've got to be careful with your timing of your pit stop, because if you get out in traffic, working your way through that traffic is going to be very difficult to do.
Yeah, I've noticed that when I did my race earlier, when I was stuck with a lot of traffic, I lost a lot of time through it. So it was better, I think, to get through clear air, in my opinion. If you are the likes of the ones who got that time penalty, done the yellow flag. Oh, that's Ryan. That's how the moment again in turn number 6. So he's down in last place at the moment. He is the wooden spoon in this race. Meanwhile, Nikosos is in the pit lane. And that is its first stop? Yeah, it is his first stop. The first of the lead runners to come in. I didn't think he was going to be the one to come in first, but he wants to draw the straws first and trigger the pit stops. He's on to set up the hard compounded tyres, so I'm guessing he doesn't want to touch those softs.
Not for the time being, at the very least, and trying to do a lengthy stint in the middle of this race. Clean air is so important when you come out the pits. There will be a bit of clearing of it, not much. And look at where Blizzard has come out. Remember, Blizzard pitted very early onto the mediums from the softs. Has managed to get the job on the Kossos, but is now stuck behind traffic. That's Harry Noir and AJ Wuhan up the road in front, and this is where things could get very interesting there. Blizzard getting held up. AJ Wuhan for the move on Harry Noir. Goes down the left-hand side towards Memorial Corner, and you can see Blizzard trying to line it up. Harry Noir trying to hold it around the outside, get an inside line and a turn 8, and they are level onto the brakes. Harry Noir gets back in front, and now here comes Blizzard to the outside at a turn 9. Can he sweep the long way round? Yes, he can with the extra grip. Blizzard gets moved on, and AJ Wuhan, after looking for the move, ends up losing a place in the end. And Blizzard looking to get very opportunistic up behind Harry Noir. Harry Noir has been holding up drivers all the way throughout this race and struggling on old tyres. Down the inside goes Blizzard. Tries to get it stopped and turned in. Better contact between them. Harry Noir bounces off the wall, and now they're side by side down the straight. Harry Noir gets a tuck in there. AJ Wuhan with a huge lunge in a turn 14. Taps Blizzard. Blizzard almost goes around, and there's 3 cars with a blanket over them. Blizzard gets out in front. AJ Wuhan with an audacious lunge. Loses out to Harry Noir right outside, and they make contact as Harry Noir loses the back end. Now here comes Nikosos on the scene on those hard, that he's trying to get up to temperature. Absolute mayhem, and it's mayhem in the pit stops at the end of the lap as a whole host of drivers dive to the pit lane, 6 in all. But my oh my, Jess, what a battle out there on track. They're a bit bad-tempered, it must be said. Blizzard came through that, and AJ Wuhan and Harry Noir were in the wars all the way throughout that lap.
Blizzard was losing quite a lot of time that he shouldn't have done, and you've already spoke about the fact that you have to come into clear air, otherwise you experience things like that. And he's already lost time to the likes of Smokey as well, so that's not ideal if you're Blizzard trying to battle for the win of this race. But yeah, because in that battle, no one else in that train pretty much has made their first stop yet, apart from Izza. And Izza is stuck in that train as well, and he was also battling for the lead of this race, so he's lost a chunk of time just by obviously pitting earlier than expected. So the undercut is more powerful around this track because you gain so much more time. But will Blizzard lose later on, obviously, when he comes, he does his next stop. Well, he could go on the mediums, he doesn't have to go on the hards. That's the beauty of him starting on those soft compounded tyres. And the Kostos on those hard tyres, it takes about 3 laps around this track to get temperature. So he's not going to able to try and get in this fight yet, but he's just playing it a bit too aggressive sometimes as well. You just got to wait for your tyres to warm up, then go for the move, because otherwise more incidents can happen. Charlie Harris, by the way, picked himself a penalty. He's down in the P18 at the moment, as Roger has missed his breaking point through start of Sector 3. He's down to P13. Jacob's right on the back of this as well.
Yeah, it is a pandemonium out there in Singapore at the moment. I think that Izzat must have been held up in the pits because he dropped behind Felix 1. They pitted on the same lap. Tiramisu comes into the pit lane. Nikosov's being dropped, just doesn't quite have the raw pace on those hard tyres once the mediums are now up to temperature. Blizzard jumped these guys, but you can see the lack of pace that he has with the tyre disadvantage, and Felix 1 will be fancying a chance of getting that move done and moving himself up the order further down the line. So watch out for the for the AlphaTauri man to get that way through and behind Blizzard. Smokey though has a monstrous advantage out in front now. That gap has continued to extend and right now looks very dominant. Ryan's had another off that has just turned into an absolute nightmare for QRT Ryan in the end. Per Roger and AJ are going at it further down the order then, and AJ trying to hold it running outside of 7. Per Roger running outside a bit, squeezed into the wall, and they come together. I think they might have got away without damage. J. Cole is now right on this as well. So a big scrap down there between those three. Yeah, they did come together into the wall of turn 8, but I think they've just about managed to get away without damage, at least to my eyes at the very least. So they managed to get away with that one. AJ trying to hold on with the old softs. They'll be going off at this stage. Not knowing where to look now, right now, Jess. After a very calm opening to the race, the strategies have thrown everything up in the air here.
Yeah, there's a lot that's going on. There's still stuff going on as well, as AJ almost getting past Per Roger there, as AJ's got to get past soon, because these sort of softs are starting to die. As Smokey set the fastest lap of this race, as Jerome has done his first pit stop. So Smokey now leads from Blizzard. Don't forget, Isaac was in P2. He was jumped by both Blizzard and Felix. And Felix now going to chase down Blizzard for P2. Who would have expected this at this moment in time? Don't forget, all assists, by the way, are enabled, apart from obviously the braking assist and steering assist. So who would use those in a 24-hour race? As Felix, by the way, down the inside into turn 7. He's going to hold his line. Maybe he'll try and cut back on the outside. Felix does get past Blizzard. So I wonder if Blizzard's tyres are really starting to go quickly. And that is worrying if you're also on those medium tyres for that long and want to do a long stint later on. So Blizzard and Felix are definitely the benchmark at the moment. And we have another spin of that time. It's Charlie Harris that's had a bit of a moment. So that's Ryan. He's up a position.
Yeah, but it is down there at the back of the field. Mistakes galore, it must be said then. Very difficult, of course, here at Singapore. I think Charlie Harris has gone around again. Now Blizzard is being lined up by Izzat, who tries to switch to the inside, finding any sort of space. They make contact in a turn 14. Blizzard out the way, just manages to keep it out the wall. Now Nikosovs is going to slot through as well. Blizzard will not be happy with that. He tried to cover the inside. Izzat tried to force his way into that gap, and that's where the contact happened. I think there may well be a steward's inquiry regarding that one, but nevertheless, for the moment, Izzat gets through Nikosovs, and then Blizzard out there on track. And I think Blizzard, Connor, who pitted extremely early, I think on the first couple of laps at the very least, still out there, and now he's going to dive in for what will be his second pit stop, which will surely be for the hards. Maybe we'll see the mediums, but that would be a bit of a stretch, it must be said, in terms of the tyre life. We will see how that's going to unfold. So Smokey leads, Felix 1, Izzat, then Nikosovs. Connor does come in. We'll see what the tyre choice is as we're getting towards the second phase of pit stops for some drivers, but there is quite a bit of an offset. Connor is going to put on the mediums, and that's going to be quite an effort to get them to the end of the race, but we will see. AJ has also come in, so that's 2 drivers now serving their second pit stop. Everyone will, of course, need to do one at some point to fill that pit stop quota, but at the moment it looks as though things are finally starting to settle down out there on track, with Smokey leading by some margin, but behind, the battles are far from over.
Well, I'm just worried that hopefully you haven't spoken too soon at the moment, as we got Connor and AJ having a bit of a moment, and Connor's broken his front wing. So, yeah, that's a commentator's curse saying that not much is going to happen at this point, and something has happened with Colin got 0 front wing and has to pit again. So there we go. As Ryan, unsurprisingly, has retired, but not in the pit lane. He's binned it. So that's not good news for your QRT because they have missed a few races. Charlie Harris has gone for a little bit of a spin. I thought he was going to do a donut there, but obviously he did a donut. Wasn't going to do a donut, but he spun. More yellow flags happening at the moment. Luckily, no safety cars, of course, as Charlie Harris is definitely struggling. He's going to get a penalty, if not a warning, by looks of things, the way he's doing. But, yeah, quite a lot has happened, I think, just by this lap alone, I think, with a few people making mistakes. But don't forget, a lot of these drivers, it's not been their first race, with some drivers having a team which has only a few drivers in. They have to do a lot more races than quite a lot of drivers. A lot of drivers have a lot of members. They can only race 2 races if they wanted to. There's quite a few drivers that are racing 4 or 5 races this event, so it must be tiring for them. But they got to get their head into gear as Smokey has lapped Charlie Harris, I believe. Yes, he has. Still in P1. We got Jerome and Droftas on for a little bit of a scrap as Jerome has passed Droftas up into P7. The soft compound tyre advantage definitely going into Jerome's favour in that Aston Martin. But again, that will die around 2 laps, maybe lap 3 or lap 4. But yeah, good move there as well. Let's see if we can catch Ben for P6.
Yeah, Jerome for the Humble squad trying to make the most of this medal stint of the race. One of the only drivers that has opted for that soft compounded tyres. As I mentioned, he is racing for the Humble squad, and I have to say, there is nothing more humble than calling yourself humble.
Indeed, indeed.
So, yeah, Jerome is going to try and go on the charge there. Ben GS next up the road has run a very quiet but solid race in P6 for the moment. I was going to say things are settling down, but yeah, I don't think I can bank on that at any point. We saw Connor and AJ Wuhan coming together. Both of those guys have had to go in for a set of the hard tyres. And Connor, for Connor, that is actually a 3rd stop of the race. So that incident right after the 2nd pit stop means that ultimately, well, what has been a nightmare day for him so far, that is going to mean he is forced to do 1 more stop than what the quota actually requires. So not optimal at all for NSX Connor. AJ Wuhan, that will be treated as his final pit stop. So there are now a handful of drivers that have served that stop. The highest up at the moment is AJ by 24. So we'll see where that is going to end up. Most of the guys, of course, further up the field, just 1 stop. So we'll see where everyone is going to go, when everyone is going to go in. I think the first driver to come in will probably be Blizzard, who has done a very long stint on those mediums. As I think I saw someone leave the session. I didn't see exactly who.
That was Ryan Beast DNF, so it's all good.
Okay.
Yeah. So far, Touchwood, we had no one late lead the session in this lobby. So that is good. That is good. So I think it just goes to show we need a PC host every time, because every time we do not have a PC host, that's when the lobby starts to go. So yeah. So that because it's been a bit more stable, Touchwood, at the moment. It's on lap 18 of 31, halfway through this race so far. And after Singapore, by the way, we have got, let me check, I believe it's Belgium up next. Yes, it is Belgium. Very exciting. Should be fun. That's when I'll probably go try and get some sleep, but probably won't, because I probably won't end up waking up in time for my stint tomorrow. As Blizzard, you did say he was going to come into the pits, but I didn't think it was going to be this soon.
Well, in comes Blizzard indeed, driving in that Ferrari. So we'll see. He's going to put on another set of the mediums. That should do him to the end of the race. Girona's coming as well after a very short stint on the soft. So now we are seeing really amongst the contenders up at the front, the final pit stops now begin to take shape, and we will see where everyone will end up, and that's where they're going to start their fight towards the flag to see where the points are going to be awarded. There are no double points on offer at this race, it must be said, as Blizzard is going to come out right behind Harry Noirg, and Harry Noirg just emerges in front, so Blizzard will be a little bit annoyed at that one. Will look to try and get through as quickly as possible. So Blizzard is going to go on the offensive here, you would think. Now in the DRS with the ERS as well. Big closing speed up towards Memorial Corner. It's going to go to the inside, and I don't think there's going to be much contest. Blizzard slots through on Harry Noirg through turn 7, takes P10 on the road, and now has a good bit of clean air up towards Tiramisu up in front to try and drive into. So Blizzard will go on the move. We'll see how the reactions are. I think there were a few gaps there. He was up behind Nikosos, who runs 4th at the moment, is at P3. Felix 1 still holding down that P2, and Smokey way out in front in P1 at the moment. We'll see, of course, there could still be errors. Singapore is a track that punishes small mistakes, so that is certainly possible. At the moment, we don't see much reaction from anyone up at the front, so we'll just have to wait and see for most of the pit stops. This Droftas has gone round, heading out. I think that's out of turn 16, so recovers the car. Was sat right behind BenGS for the entire race. Recovers the car, but that's going to drop him all the way down. Behind at the moment, Tiramisu on penalties, but the 3 seconds actually cancels that out, so still running P8 net possession, but after a great run, yeah, that mistake. I said Singapore punishes small mistakes, and we've seen another example of that there.
That is a shame. That is a shame as well, but still in P8, so still quite a bit to recover from this one as well. He's doing better than some other drivers as well, as Nikosos, I believe, is on his second and final stop. Yes, he is. So that is 2 stops for him. So basically the top 8, sorry, have not stopped. Neither has Harry in P11. Neither has Reskeeper in P14. Everyone else has done their 2 mandatory stops. So just in case those of you that are jeffing or engineering, those are your stops out of the way. As Jax trying to get past Droftas for P7. To be fair, that was almost contact, but Jas had to back off a little bit because otherwise it would have been another instant for Droftas. And what could it be for Droftas if he didn't spin? And that allowed J. Cole to go up to 6th place. So ideal for him. Now coming through this blind apex coming up as well. Plenty of chances for people to score some decent points coming up as well. And obviously for some of these drivers, it's their first race in a 24-hour. And despite Droftas spinning, still doing a decent job holding up to the back of Jax Turismo, which I can't even say to save my life. So apologies if I get my names wrong, by the way. Ben's also had a good race up, by the way, for QRT, up to 4th place at the moment. So I'm sure the guys at QRT will be very happy about that, as Dylan gets past Reskeeper up to 14th. Surely he would gain advantage by doing his 2 stop already. Is anyone in the back going to go into the pits? We'll keep an eye on these guys. That Harry isn't budging. What about Reskeeper? Well, he hasn't passed that yet, so we'll have to wait and see. But Smokey leads from 9.3 seconds over Felix. Izza in 3rd, Ben in 4th.
Yeah, that's how things stand near the front at the moment, so we'll see how that is going to unfold inside the last 11 laps of the Grand Prix now, which at Singapore is still an awful long way. So we'll still have a while before we reach the checkered flag for the Downey order. Nikosos gets through on Tiramisu, gets that move done. And crucial now, after going in early, to get these overtakes, not to get held up by the traffic that he's encountering then at the beginning of this 3rd stint. So a lot of work to be done for Nikosos. Going to try and jump potentially up past Izzat. We'll see how that's going to unfold when the pit stops will eventually take shape. These guys, of course, may well be extending to go on softs at the end of the race because there's still some life left in those mediums that they're currently running at the moment. It looks like, for the most part, that seems to be the approach. We'll see if anyone's going to diverge from that. Looks like the top 3 out on track are still staying out. There is a bit of a gap back to BenGS, who, as you said, is running very nice, confidently, quietly in 4th place, being tracked by Per Roger. then it's J. Cole who's kind of shadowing those guys. So that could still be a battle near the end of the race, and the certain strategies can certainly unfold in different ways. Drofdas now trying to hold off Nikosos on the charge pair. Roger has gone in, so maybe that's not a driver that's going for a soft stint at the end of the race unless he wants to really stretch them. Nikosos now looking at Drofdas, turns on the battery and uses that DRS and is going to cruise through towards turn 1, get the move done up in a 6th place, managing to try and alleviate that time loss then somewhat. Blizzard is now coming up behind that as Per Roger is going to emerge behind Harry Noirg and also behind Jerome and possibly even behind AJ. I think he'll just come out in front. So now we're seeing the permutations of these final pit stops, Jess, and you're going to have to time that pit stop not only for the fastest theoretical strategy, but ideally you want to come out in clean air as well.
Yeah, because you don't want to be like Blizzard done on his first stint when he pitted. So yeah, you don't want to be doing that. But luckily Blizzard has got past Jax up to P8 at the moment, and now he's got Drofdas to contend with as well. And to be fair, I have to say this race has definitely gone better than China. So thank you to all the drivers for keeping it clean in general and giving us a nice battle. So fair play as Reskeeper is in for is definitely his 3rd stop, or it might be his 2nd. Don't know. I'm not entirely sure, but he stopped anyway. That's it's his 2nd stop. Okay, it's his 2nd stop. That explains it there. Per Roger is in as well. Jerome tries to get past Harry on the fresher rubber, which he does, up to 10th place for Jerome there, doing very well, keeping it humble in 10th place. Sorry, I don't want to use too many puns in one stream, but I just said it, okay? I'm sorry, but yeah, the ones that have stayed out on these meetings for a long time, they're going to stretch out for the sauce, but it's going to be around lap 27 before they do it, because otherwise they're going to be in exactly the same situation as Blizzard and lose out on a tile and temperature in the first opening lap. So we will see. Like we said, anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does. Blizzard now has caught up right to the back of Drofdas. We'll see what he can do.
Getting that DRS now, he's got a little bit of battery to use, and it's going to be, I imagine, a fairly simple move on the inside of turn number 6. Yes, it is. So, Blizzard moving his way up, P7 at the moment, tracking the Kosos up through the order, still the top 5, yet to dive to that pit lane. I'm still thinking they are all going for softs and try and blast that stint right at the end. They won't get many good laps out of them, but those laps that are good, they will be flying. A tyre differential at Singapore is always monstrous at one of the most demanding tracks on the calendar for the grip of the tyres. So we'll see if there's going to be any sort of stops at the moment as they head on to lap 24. Smokey still controlling this race, can pretty much cruise at the moment, doesn't have to push, and the race win will still be his, granted any mistakes potentially being made. So we'll see how that is going to unfold at the moment. So we're waiting really now. This is a bit of a waiting game at this stage in the race, with the top 5 yet to dive to the pit lane. Benji S, Jekyll, the last of the cars in that order. There's still a big list of drivers though that are yet to make that 2nd stop. Probably about half of the grid yet to come in for the 2nd time. So we'll wait for that then until they all come in, and then we'll get a real picture as to where everyone stands. So still a bit of a loss of clarity. Nikosos is the top driver that has made both pit stops ahead of Blizzard, and of course those guys going for an undercut, so we'll see where they are relative to the other race leaders when they come in, I imagine, in just a couple of laps time.
Yes, well, obviously Smokey has got that huge gap, so that can mean a lot into the grand scheme of things, as Per Rogers got past Harry up to 11th place, so him pitting a few laps earlier has probably benefited at the moment for the Williams team. Obviously still some drivers still yet to pit anyway. I thought I saw someone spin there, but luckily no one was spinning. No retirement so far, so that is always good, with the likes of Charlie Harris still going despite being lapped, I believe, as Reskeeper is also still going, by the way. Always encourage to not give up and do not retire unless you can't control your retirement. I did see someone retire from the pits earlier, which is not good, because unless you have an emergency, there's not really much point. A lot of highlights in this race, and one other highlight is Felix doing so well. He's going into the pit I assume you'll be going onto a Seb Softs, and Izza follows suit.
So, those two dive in, and the ones to watch here are Nikosos and Blizzard, I think, in terms of the pit exits. So, Felix 1 ran in P2. We'll see if he's still going to be in P2 as he emerges from the pit lane. BenJS is going to go in. J. Cole is going to stay out, which could spice things up in terms of where he emerges then. Felix 1 is going to come out at the pit lane, almost side by side, just behind J. Cole. So that overtake is going to have to be done in the end. Nikosos did manage to get in front of Izzat on the undercut, but Izzat of course has a big tyre advantage. Izzat just in front of Blizzard then in that scrap, but they're all stacked up behind J. Cole as we've got down the field. Someone's gone off. I think that's Harry Warg, who has spawned in a very familiar place at the final corner into the pit wall, and we'll try and recover that car. For very, very old friends of him, you will know that is not a new spin for the man. So J. Cole running in that P2. Smokey has a massive 35-second lead. Of course, he still has the pit, as does J. Cole, and that's going to free up Felix 1. But as he's sat up behind J. Cole without really being able to use those softs at the moment, it's keeping the Kosos close, and Felix 1 has to get this one done quickly to really get the most out of those tyres. He's got more battery to use, and I think he's going to deploy it, or is he going to? I think he's going to wait, actually, behind J. Cole. So losing time in this last sector, and I know that he's got a big tyre advantage over those behind, but really when you've got fresh soft tyres, it's going to be so frustrating being stuck behind a car. As Smokey in from the lead. Yeah,
Smokey in for his start, and to be honest, with the gap he has, he could have pitted any time and still come out in the race lead, but he's going on to Sev soft tyres anyway. I'm sure J. Cole would follow suit. Remember, you have to do your 2-stop. If you don't, you will get a disqualification for your team and get no points. I'm sure J. Cole do not want to get disqualified, so he's in anyway. So that promotes Felix to P2, and he's probably glad that that's happened so far. So that just leaves Dylan, unless Dylan's already made his stop. No. Yes, Dylan has made his stop, and J. Cole and Turismo are the last ones to make their stops. So everyone has done their 2 stops. So is Harry as well, who's in 16th position. So, yeah, no disqualifications for this race.
Yep, good to see everyone fulfilling those 2 stops then on strategy, or in Corner's case, 3 stops if you've had an incident just after coming out of the pits. So that was an unfortunate one, as now we're looking at Izzat with a lot of grip up behind Nikosos. Of course, does have a penalty, and so pulling a gap on the 3rd place man for Team Hamburger is going to be very, very crucial. So up behind right now, looking to try and force a move up towards turn 13. Maybe he's going to wait. You can see him using as much of that entry track as possible to get the exit, catapulting off of the hairpin, and I think he's going to fly past there. Maybe the Kosos can still contest this late on the brakes on the inside, but ultimately the extra grip of the soft will prevail, and Izzat gets in a P3, now looking to extend that gap. Blizzard will try and put pressure on the Kosos from behind, so those two run 4th and 5th on the track. Izzat, of course, as I mentioned, will try and extend to a 3-second gap to those behind. Charlie Harris is sort of in the way, a lap down. Is going to continue on, of course, ghosted, so hopefully that doesn't put off the others too much that are slotted in behind. Further back, Jerome has managed to get up to 6th with some good strategy work, I think, on the undercut. Gets in front of Per Roger, and BenJS and J. Cole, who stayed out longer for the softs, they're going to try and hunt them down. So that's another battle to look out for. So still plenty in play into the last 5 laps at Singapore. But don't forget, 5 laps at Singapore is still an awful long way. So we'll see how that's going to unfold in the dying stages of this race. The Singapore Grand Prix and the closing stages. At the moment, Smokey is clearing away at the front, but still much to be settled further back.
Probably the longest 5 laps of Singapore in any race so far at the moment. Has a yellow flag. What's that? Hopefully it's not a phantom yellow flag.
It may have been, because I did not see a yellow flag at all. So.
Okay, so it was a phantom yellow flag for me. Lovely jubbly. Yeah. I shouldn't have said that way, but we have to wait and see. And by the way, the ghosts are very distracting when I race, at least. So even if obviously ghosting's on, if you are lapped, try and move out of the way as quickly as you possibly can, because otherwise it distracts the ghosts. The ones that are trying to get past to nowhere, and they lose so much time. So yeah, if you are lapped, please do so. That is my request on behalf of some drivers who get very annoyed if they're trying to lap a car that's obviously have slower pace in them at this moment in time. Lap 28 then, as Smokey comes across the line with Felix about to cross the line as well to start lap 28 as well. Right, I'll get position changes at the moment. AJ is going the most, up 7, with Jacob up 6. So those two doing a decent job so far. Hopefully at the end of this race we will get an update of the standings, because it might have changed quite a bit since obviously we last spoke. And we obviously, with Team Hamburger's penalties, it could make all the difference. Visible Esports could be up there as well. NLR's doing very well in this event as well. It's great to see teams you don't usually expect to be at the front. As a yellow flag, that is... Oh, don't say it's AJ. Don't say it's AJ. No, it's not AJ. It was...
It's Smokey.
It's Smokey. Oh, Smokey's lost it. We actually get a battle for the lead.
Does Smokey? I'm not sure if it was just a spin. Looks like he's managed to get away without damage, but the tyres are cooked. So all of a sudden, late drama. I said Smokey just had to cruise in without a mistake. Well, there's the mistake, and now Felix one is right in behind. So, and there's pretty much no difference in battery between them. They're both down on battery. Smokey's going to have to get these tyres back in an operating window, and all of a sudden we've got a fight for the win, as you said. So here we go. Can Felix one apply the pressure here? The gap down to 0.6 of a second. I think Smokey is still struggling for rear grip, and through this last sector it's going to be punished. Maybe there's a bit of damage because he's understeering potentially all the way around here. There's no visible damage, but Felix one looks much more confident. Sat potentially underneath this rear wing. Is he going to get this done quickly? Smokey has almost no grip. Felix one trying to draw alongside. They're side by side down the straight, but Smokey has a significant edge in straight line speed. Felix one much later on the brakes. They make contact. Banging wheels through turn 1. Felix one gives it up, but Smokey has nothing. You can see the car is washing out across the track surface. It's not turning in. So much understeer, probably oversteer as well. There's no grip. I think he must have damage. Either that or the tires are completely gone. But Felix one now trying to line it up inside the last 3 laps. Smokey with such straight line speed. Is Felix one going to send it? He doesn't. It's a short braking zone. He can't quite find the space to make the lunge. He's all over him though, and Izzat is closing in as well. So here we go, Smokey trying to recover, get back on pace. Felix one knows he needs to take advantage now, and he draws alongside out of turn 9 towards turn 10, trying to keep a nose alongside. He can't. Smokey straight line speed saves him again in a remarkable turn of events here. Can Felix one get it done? Up towards turn 13, bides his time, sets himself up. He'll have DRS, but as we mentioned, Smokey with so much straight line speed, and I think still it's going to be out of reach, but he's held them up so much that all of a sudden Izzat, despite the penalties, in on this, so 2.5 laps to go, and it's still all to play for.
Oh my goodness, bring it on. As Mercedes has gone off. That's Jaco that's gone off in turn 7, it looks like. No, not turn 7, it's turn 9 and 10. Get your corners right, Jess. But yeah, Jaco's lost it as well, down into 12th place. So that promotes a few other drivers up as well. But let's watch this battle for the lead for the last few laps. Apologies about the sniffles. I've got a really bad cold. We'll just come back. But Felix could get down the inside of Smokey, heading towards turn number 1. Let's see if they can leave enough space this time. They make a bit of contact. Look who also is in the fight. We got the Red Bull of Isaac Kush in 3rd place. I know he's got that penalty, but who cares right now? It's a freeway fight. Oh, it's free of red. Smokey's made a mistake there. Thank goodness he still kept the car on the road. Smokey and Iz are going side by side right now. It's going to be free and pressed into turn 7. It's going to end horribly wrong for one of them. How did Smokey save that? I have to say, fair play. And that's brought Nicossos into the picture. That's brought Blizzard back into the picture, to be honest. Bring it on. I am starting to lose my voice, but I don't care. And I've been told someone's been told in the chat, well, someone's told Felix in the chat to defend like a lion. I think he's definitely defending more like a lion at the moment. This is absolutely incredible.
Well, Felix, 1 beat a line of Singapore, lap and a half to go there. Now Nikosos is lining up Smokey, and Blizzard is in the mix as well. Smokey's mistake after having a comfortable lead. Looks like he must have damage because the pace is completely gone after being in control of this race. Ultimately, it looks like it's not going to be. He might still be able to stay in range of Izzat's penalty, but at the moment there, that gap is opening up, and Nikosos and Blizzard will both look to try and capitalize here. So we're coming up to the final lap. Felix has the edge, and it looks like he's the odds-on favourite to win this one at the moment if he can just control that gap to Izzat in behind, who could have easily won this race as well. Nikosos now trying to pick up the run on Smokey, but we mentioned Smokey's straight line speed. Nikosos looking to the outside towards turn 1, sends it late on the brakes. Can he go all the way around the outside? They touch again, still trying to hold it alongside turn 3. They bang wheels again, and then on the inside, Blizzard, they're going to be 3 abreast once again here with the AI in the pedal as well. Through they go, and round goes Nikosos, pinched onto the apex by Smokey, who did everything he can to defend it, maybe went a step too far. Blizzard now on the inside, finds the speed outside in the Memorial Corner, onto the brakes, trying to swing all the way up on the outside, and they almost touch again. Turn 8 now, locked together. Eventually Blizzard gets tagged, but forges ahead in the end. What on earth has went on there? Smokey maybe went a step too far. I'm not sure. They were almost 3 abreast with
It's up to the stewards.
Charlie's car. And Izzat, you say he's going to the stewards. What's going on there?
No, it will be up to the stewards to what happened with Smokey, I think. Because it was a little bit too far in my opinion, but again, it's up to the stewards. But yeah, we still got a final sector to go, and winner is his penalty. Looks like Felix has got this in the bag, but we will see. We've seen Smokey bottle it from the lead, so anything could happen. But let's just hope that Felix does not do so, as he's driven pretty much an outstanding race. A driver that I was not expecting to win this race. Please don't weave now. You may lose the win from here. There we go. He's going across the final corner. Felix Renner, LLR, wins in Singapore. And I have to say, my drive of the day so far, he has driven superbly right now. As Izzat in second place. Blizzard in third. Smokey in fourth. Nikosos in fifth. Jerome up to the line in P6. And then we got a battle of the Williams boys coming towards the line. We got Ben and Roger, who's going to get it. It was Ben by 1/10 of a second. And then we got Droftas, who's recovered to P9, I have to say. That is very good points for Esports Wales, even though they would wanted more points for that. Now 10, because AJ from ERT has just pipped it. J. Cole in 11th. And we're just waiting for to Connor, Mick, Jazz, Dylan, Harry and Wuhan to cross the line.
Wow, that was quite an ending. I thought the race was winding down, but Smokey, just one mistake off of turn 9 and that opened things up, and we had a 5-car fight for the lead, which in the end was won by Felix One, who in the end simply won the race by making the least mistakes, and that was how the win was made. He wins it for NLR Esports, and yeah, what a way to win that was, after looking, as you said, like an unlikely winner. In the end, it shows that in Grand Prix racing you cannot count anything else, and we have we have another new race winner. Connor gets driver of the day. I'm not sure actually who I would award to driver of the day, because so much happened at the end of that race. But yeah, I said this with Australia, and I'll say this even more emphatically with Singapore. Singapore certainly delivered.
It definitely did. And I have to say, Singapore always delivers in a 24-hour sort of F1, because every time I seem to commentate on Singapore, it's always a good one. So yeah, we should have Singapore every 24-hour of F1 stream, and if anyone tries to get rid of it, then screw you. I was going to say another word, but I'm not swearing on stream. So here we go then. There's your results on screen. So J. Cole could do a bit of a screenshot for us. Felix in first. We've got Izzat, Blizzard, Smokey, Nikosos, Jerome, Ben, Roger, AJ, Droftas, J. Cole, Connor, Mick, Turismo, I don't even know what, I can't pronounce it. Dylan, Wuhan, Harry in 17th, Keeper in 18th, Charlie Harris in 19th, and your early retirement, unfortunately, belongs to QRT Ryan, so QRT will not be scoring any points in this race. Any final thoughts before we go on for a little bit of a break?
Well, I'm just gonna say I'm exhausted, and I've still got another race to commentate on. So,
Good luck.
yeah, exactly. Glad that one though, from an organisational standpoint, actually went very smoothly. So,
Yes.
good job to that, and hopefully that sets the tone for the rest of the event.
I hope so. I think in the night time it'll probably be, I think, a lot easier, I think. But we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I believe I'm just trying to see who's joining you next. Yeah, J. Cole is joining you next, and he's in the next 2 hours as well. So he's joining you for the next race at Belgium, and then he's joining, being joined by Ivan and Mike for the Netherlands. So those are your next 2 races coming up. You won't see me in the commentary box until Abu Dhabi at 9:35 tomorrow morning, but we'll see how I am, because my voice will probably still be dead for me staying up a little bit. But yeah. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this part of the stream. Anyway, I'll leave you in the capable hands of J. Cole to take us on a little bit of a break whilst we get A, the commentator switch round, and B, the next lobby being set up, which hopefully it won't be very long, because Singapore didn't take us very long as well. So thank you for watching. We will see in a few moments for the Belgian Grand Prix with Daniel and J. Cole. We'll see you soon.